You know, I. Hold on a second. It smells like mayonnaise. Wait, how, I thought you just ate some, like, flat, straight up. Wait. When you buy mayonnaise, it's not refrigerated. It's sealed. But yeah, it's airtight sealed. Once you open it, you introduce other things into it, eventually. It's like that old experiment where the guy had, like, meat, and he was like, flies just appear on this meat. And, like, the meat that was sealed didn't have flies, but the meat with the hole got flies. It's kind of like that kind of thing. Yeah, I've got fly mayonnaise. Commercially produced mayonnaise, as opposed to homemade mayonnaise, does not need to be refrigerated. Even after opening? But that's horrific. Why? Does it say, wait, Bob, the thing should say, does it say on it, keep refrigerated? Does it say? Does it say? Refrigerate after opening. It would say if you had to. 12 fluid ounces. Picture of a baby. That's why I bought it, because I have one of those. Okay. I have one of those. I like mayonnaise. Look at this. Since 1919. QP mayonnaise. That's not the one we need. Ingredients. Contains eggs. Refrigerate after opening. Do not freeze. But it says food scientists find it's because mayo undergoes strict testing and its acidic nature slows the growth of bacteria associated with foodborne illnesses. I mean, this is a very QP is a very popular common brand, but it's not like it's Duke's or like Hellmann's or something. It's a different kind of mayonnaise, right? It has a two-way chef cap. What if that's too fancy to be unrefrigerated? But that's the thing, right? I have this perception that mayonnaise, if you left it out, it would become horrible very quickly. But it wouldn't.
Before we start this episode, you should know that History in 5 is a series that teaches about America's greatest...
Chug that bottle. Chug it. Well, hey, I'll give you 10 points. I'll give you 10 points if you chug it. Okay, I'll chug the bottle. Here we go. Oh, so much mayonnaise. Okay, yeah, some got in my mouth. I don't like that. Wow, you should be an actor. Some definitely got in my mouth. How'd it taste? It's kind of like I ate some mayonnaise while I have a Jolly Rancher in my mouth.
Ew.
Yeah, I do. I wasn't quite. We hit record, and you were like, "Let's go," and I was like, "Oh, finish this Jolly Rancher as we start the episode." It's not gone yet. I've been trying to tuck it under. Weren't you prepared to eat mayonnaise? I mean, I should show up prepared to chug mayonnaise. Yeah, we all should. We all should. So that is on me. It's one of those things where it's like, if it did taste like there was a Jolly Rancher, it would prove that it was spoiled. But I think because it tastes like mayonnaise, I don't think mayonnaise spoils. And I think this is a divisive issue. I think a lot of people think you need to refrigerate a lot more things than you really do. Probably. Because if you go to restaurants all the time, ketchup and mustard is left out. But where do people put their ketchup in their home? Usually, it's in the fridge. Well, the fridge is convenient, but I've seen people keep ketchup in the pantry. Ketchup and mustard are very acidic. Like a different level of acidity than just mayonnaise. Are you sure about that? Yes, because they have, like, vinegar in them as an ingredient. Mayonnaise what do you think mayonnaise have? Mayonnaise should be a fat emulsified into another fat. It should be egg yolks emulsified into, like, an oil or something. The ingredients for this mayonnaise are soybean oil, egg yolk, water, distilled vinegar, salt, sugar, mustard flour, rice vinegar. Mayonnaise isn't supposed to have vinegar in it. Mayonnaise is an egg yolk. That's a mayonnaise. That's called mayonnaise. No, mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise is an egg yolk emulsified into and fat. An oil of some sort. What does emulsified into even mean? It means you blend it into it and it becomes a suspension where the fats mix together because they're not naturally attracted to each other. So you force it by blending it to be mixed into a homogeneous mixture. The emulsification, that's how, you know how salad dressing can, like, separate? When salad dressing is all mixed up, it's emulsified. But it can separate because the oil and the non-oils are not naturally attracted to each other. So homemade mayonnaise would be that, but apparently... But, like, that's normal mayonnaise. You don't put mayonnaise needs an acid. Mayonnaise needs an acid. It's lemon. You put lemon in it. It's an acid. It could either be lemon or vinegar. It's either one of those. It just needs an acid. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. This is what it is. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I don't like it, Mark. I'm allowed to not like things, aren't I? Yeah. I'm with Bob. I also don't like mayonnaise. Heard here first. Mark Fuller says you have to like everything he likes. That's true.
He is the perpetual host.
As judge, I declare that you must like what I like. Well, I don't. So what about that then? Well, I think you're dumb. Well,
Get out of there.
You're a very nice man, and this is out of
You're trying
character
to
for
steal
you.
their stuff.
My day was fine. Thank you guys for asking.
Wade, what do you think of mayonnaise?
I don't really care for it. My family likes mayonnaise. I don't, but you know, it's.
Well, you don't like anything. What do you like as a sandwich condiment then?
I like ketchup.
Ketchup.
You know, I eat
You don't have like mustard. You don't have like. Ketchup is not not
I
a
have a
correct
ham and
answer.
cheese sandwich. It is bread, ham, and cheese. If I go crazy, I might do like a ham and turkey and cheese.
Why don't
Or
you just eat scoops of sand? Jesus Christ. That sounds like the driest,
feels
most
like a joke.
unpleasant food I could imagine eating. A
No.
sandwich without a sauce.
That's right. Bob
It
is
doesn't
right.
have to be mayonnaise, but it needs a sauce.
Do you
Wade.
have like a hyper lubricated throat or something? How do you get that down? I have a beverage with my meal.
If I ate a sandwich with just bread and fillings in it, with no lubrication base, no sauce or anything, I would choke on that. I would get halfway through the sandwich and be like,
Asian.
I must have a wide ass throat because no, I don't need any of that. I just eat the sandwich. In fact, I usually eat 2 sandwiches. You dip it in water.
I'm not opposed to 2 sandwiches. I love 2 sandwiches.
Here's what I do. I get a slice of bread. I put meat and cheese on it. Put the other slice of bread. Eat. Or maybe I go crazy and I have a PB and J. Sometimes I just go bonkers.
Those are their
here.
own sauces, though. That one totally makes sense. You don't need anything for that.
That is fine.
That's fine. That's fine. That's acceptable.
Meat is kind of wetty.
Meat? I'm
It's not
sorry.
like-
Meat is not a sauce.
Are you sloppy
Did you get like a
man?
ham?
You slopping up those steaks? You putting water on your steaks? Like lunch meat ham. Ham is like moist. If you have like leftover chicken and you like slice it and put it on there, maybe your chicken is drier after it being like, you know, baked and then whatever. But like if you just buy deli meat,
No deli meat is adequately moist to forego any sort of sauce on a sandwich. You need some mustard.
I don't put anything on my burgers other than
You need
cheese
some
and
honey
bacon.
mustard?
I don't put anything on my sandwiches. I just like the flavor of it by itself. It doesn't need more.
But you miss out on a world of flavor. There's adaptability.
I think you conceal some of the flavor by burying it with the other flavors.
We've been down this road before, and we need to let Wade enjoy what he enjoys, but that honestly just sounds so dry and unpleasant. A sandwich with no sauce in it sounds just awful to me.
Yes, I love a good ham and cheese
This
sandwich.
is the man that you defend. This is like that clip from that show. It's like, this is your man that you're gonna stick by. And he's like, that's my man. Look at me. I'm great. I look great. I enjoy food.
So do you eat
Hello.
chicken wings with no sauce on them? Just
Okay.
dry, crunchy, throat-destroying wings?
I have preferred buffalo
Hi,
wings.
Editor
You
Luke
have?
says.
It is green.
I'm
It's
concerned
too.
that you made that choice one single time ever.
Oh, that sucks.
I like hot sauce.
Probably more expensive than yours, I guess.
I order them well done so they stay crispy, and I also get them with light sauce so they're not drowning in sauce. Sometimes they go too light on the sauce. It's like eating a plain wing. And it's like, this could have used a little bit more, but like, you know, I'll eat it. It's fine.
I know
You
if
know
your
they make
mama
their
can't
own
buy
flavor
me
sauce.
another one, I
Parmesan
don't want to
garlic
hear
is
it.
probably one of the best wing flavors that exists.
I like some of those. But I do like a little bit of the buffalo taste without having like the buffalo drowned and like it's stuck in your mouth. Your lips are burning. Your hands are burning. You're crying. You're like, so good. You can have the flavor without drowning in the pain.
I'm generally with you. I will say there's something about the sweet, spicy Korean barbecue wings that this Korean place has near us where I don't like spicy food, but I eat those and I get done and I'm all,
What's
oh
coming
god,
in?
it's so hot.
There's something about
That
Yeah.
flavor, that's specific Korean, I think it's gochujang, something spicy. But yeah, the buffalo can be, I'm with you. I'll give you, you know what, I'll give you your chicken wings. Fry sandwich is too far for me. That's a lot.
too far. All right, burger, plain burger. Okay.
That sounds awful.
Cheeseburger?
Burger with no aioli, burger with no ketchup, mustard,
Mhm.
relish, burger with nothing interesting on it. That's,
Bacon. I'll put some bacon on it.
I mean, that is good.
I'm moving on for now because we could be a whole episode here, and I don't want to stick around on this topic forever. In the small talk round, Bob, you earned 5 points. I gave you some bonus points for actually tasting the mayonnaise. And then, Wade, I gave you 3 points. I didn't deduct anything, but I want you to know I should have. I really should have.
Stop.
Thanks. Anyway,
Wait, you should just say that you like food, even if you don't, just so you can earn more points on the podcast.
I'm
I think it's really killing you.
honest. I know whenever I'm walking into, like, you guys have, like, a punching glove extended, and I see it spring-loaded, I'm like, all I have to do is walk around it. Wait, do you like mayonnaise? It's like, just break it.
No, listen, it's okay if you don't like mayonnaise. I 100%
That's
respect
fine,
that.
yeah.
Dry sandwich is a lot. I'm not even saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I can't imagine that that's pleasant.
I love ketchup. I just don't want it on my burgers and stuff because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Couldn't tell you why.
Well, then what does it go on? You just eat ketchup on French fries and that's
I
it?
like fried foods with it. Like if I get like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, fried
All right,
fish.
no, you know what, Mark? I did the opposite of
You
what
did
you
the
were
thing.
trying
You
to
did
do.
the thing. You did
I
the
did the
thing.
thing. I need to let it go. I need to let it
Let
go.
it go.
Moving
Let it
on.
All right. So, fries.
But how could you? No, I'm sorry.
Today's topic, this is a good segue, because today's topic is moments of unbridled rage. I want to talk about the moments in our lives when we have been at our most angry, whether it was justified or not, whether it lasted a long time or not, whether we broke something or not, times when the unfettered emotion of rage
It does look like a
exploded through our
chair.
very core and either resulted in some tumultuous times or otherwise was justified.
I feel like one of the most rage-filled moments of my entire life is actually captured, memorialized as an episode of this podcast. So that's a good one. If you haven't listened to the pod,
What you doing?
oh, you're killing Wade. You're killing. I got you. If you haven't listened to Bob's Fridge episode, that's up there for me. But I would say the other one that comes to mind is on the bus in Vegas.
I love that movie. I wish we had that on film.
I cannot believe that recording didn't work. And we've talked about that before, I think on this podcast, so I don't have to go into it, but that was completely unjustified rage, I think is why that stands out to me, because I don't even remember why I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad at you guys, but I don't remember why. It was stupid.
I don't remember either.
We'll never know.
It's gone forever. But I definitely had some like daily rages. I have some little ones that come up that I think might surprise you guys.
Cool. I have one major one. I'm going to throw it back and we're going to do titles again. So you got to come up with a clever title. We got bonus points on the line.
I have a title. What's
Go.
Alright, I need to like wrap myself up for this. It's a rage title, right? So. Oh, great! Just go around.
You pick up your blocks.
All right.
Pick them up.
That's good. Wait.
I'm not going to say the title with rage. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. I should be in prison.
That's very intriguing.
That's really intriguing way to put the passion with which Bob delivered his title. That's fine.
I have to go with that one.
I'm not excited to talk about this story. It's an awful moment for me. So I don't even want to win.
Well,
but it's a fitting topic, and I'm too honest. I'm walking into the glove.
I'm excited. I want to hear this. I'm interested. I don't think I know what story you're about to tell, and if I do, I've already forgotten it. So I'm excited either way. So it's I go? I'm up?
Yes, Bob. Please take the floor.
Okay. All right. Great. I'll just go around. So this is I'm going to say this is like a summary of a thing that happens that is one of the most quintessentially California things about living here in general. It happens a lot in the car, but it also happens everywhere else. Anywhere humans are moving, this thing happens. And it's a thing I never experienced in Ohio. I lived in Ohio for a long time. North Carolina, lived there for 6 years. This did not happen. I've been to lots of places around the world and, traveled to Europe, and we were very lucky to do the tours and stuff. Never experienced this as in the same way that it happens in California. Is the instinct that Californians have the moment anything stops. You're driving in a lane of traffic. You're walking down an aisle in the grocery store. You're walking down a sidewalk. If a person in front of you stops in California,
You've been eating since you woke up. What you see this
morning? Hesitation, without slowing down.
Nothing up there. That's
every
money.
Californian just thinks, I'll just go around. Like there's not some reason that the person in front of you just stopped.
Don't get yourself in trouble. You
You're
don't have to
walking
touch
down
food.
an aisle at the grocery store.
I don't care if you pretending or
I'm
not.
walking
You're
down
going
an
to
aisle
get in
at the grocery
trouble.
store, and there's a person in front of me grabbing a thing off the shelf, and I'm like,
Don't
I'll
touch
just
them.
wait. it's a busy aisle. There's people going both directions, and I'll just wait a sec. This person's just grabbing a thing, and then they're gonna continue. If I stop
Not
moving
one
forward for a
thing.
second, every other Californian in the entire world is like, I don't know this man. I'll just go cut it off. And then the thing that makes me mad is like they do that, and it's like, okay, well, just be patient. They do that, and then there's like oncoming traffic, right? Someone is trying to walk around me in the grocery store. And there's cars coming the other way, so there's no room.
So
The
I start
person
the
who is
show
pulled
over.
out into the
Actually,
wrong, the oncoming traffic, so to speak, they're the
did
one
you
who
just
gets
fart
like
at me?
indignant about it. They do this, and then they're like,
Easter Bunny.
it's
coming up
the
soon.
people who are just walking down the aisle from the opposite direction.
Easter Bunny.
Just
Yeah, Easter Bunny.
everywhere. And it
Easter
happens
Bunny.
most specifically in traffic. If you're in a parking lot, my favorite is the series of I'll just go around. If you're in a parking lot and someone's like waiting for a
Happy you
spot,
like
right?
the
There's a
Easter
car
Bunny
back,
as much
you're
as you
waiting.
do.
There's like one guy stop, and then one guy will be like, I'll just go around. But he'll get
Why are
stopped
you
because the
jumping
car is
on me?
backing out. And now there's two cars, and a third guy comes. Oh, and then the two cars are stopped. I'll just go around, and you end up with people pulling around and around, and this shit just happens everywhere in California. And no matter what happens, I'm filled with rage. But if I'm alone in my car, I scream at them because no one can hear me. I literally, if I'm driving alone in my car and someone does that, I just look over. I'm like,
Purple.
I don't flick them off or anything,
Black.
but I scream at them because it's cathartic to be able to
say
address
black.
the fact that no one in California
Are you
knows
just gonna
what
switch
a
it up?
line is for or how to wait for 5 seconds.
5, 6.
It's a little thing, but it honestly fills me with rage on a daily basis.
9,
Going out in public, I get
10.
this everywhere in California.
Good job. Do it again.
Really? You could literally be waiting in a line to check out at a store, and someone will come up and think to themselves, like, huh, are you in line? There's a little tiny gap between your cart and the heels of the person in front of you.
Good job, sweetie. Up high. You're so smart. Good job. One more. Yeah, good job.
I'm not like a
Up
confidential
high.
person. I've confronted people in person.
Yeah,
where,
that's
they
the
did
one.
That. They tried to cut around me, and I was like, excuse me, why do you think I'm waiting?
That was a good one. Yeah.
Please get in line behind me if you would like to. And they were always like,
All right.
I'm sorry.
You're getting better at this.
You. And I'm like, how am I the one who's an
Up high.
asshole in this situation? You gotta be
Yes.
fucking
Good
kidding
job.
me.
Up high.
Everywhere in California, constantly happens.
That's my big girl.
On a whole thing.
That blows my mind. There's like 3 people in Ohio that do that, and they're always like shamed, flipped off, and screamed at. Like they must be people that are visiting from California.
Well, you stop. I didn't do it. You said up high.
It's rare here. When it does happen, that person is very obviously an asshole who has no idea what's going on.
Well, yes. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. You're so silly. What? I don't think you can talk to me in such a way, ma'am. I don't think that's allowed. Oh, okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear why you should be.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a story. This is tale.
Oh, yes.
I have 3 siblings. Older sister and younger brother.
Why? Why you gonna be so loud? Baby, I'm right here.
In my opinion, by
Why are you yelling at me?
the cool gang member called that had the hydraulics, had the big face, and the
You
truck that you
did
hear
say
10
something
miles
about
away.
this Appleberry.
Police were called on him for
You can't.
the reasons so many times growing
So
up.
you don't want to
And
watch
me and
no
my
other
are
episodes now. You just want the
starting now at
Appleberry.
this point in our lives.
That's
I'm
it.
34 years old, and for the first time we've had like
I feel like JJ might feel some type of way. It's charged good.
I hated everything about his existence because he caused our family misery over the years. And when I was a teenager, he had moved out. He was doing his own thing. And it's like, okay, I have to deal with this shit when he comes over, but otherwise, he's gone. Breathing room. something happened in life where he had to move back in with us when I was in high school. And when he moved back in, all of his bullshit came back with him. I don't want to get into all the specifics because it's kind of like, my family's business and I don't want to air it all out. It's not all my laundry to share. But ultimately, he got into more trouble, and his trouble became our trouble. And just as a teenager, your hormones and testosterone and everything else is kind of fluctuating, and you're more prone, I think, to like emotional outbursts. At least I was as a teenager. It's like I had more like moments of unbridled rage feelings that were kind of exaggerated. But with him, it had been a lifetime of buildup. And I remember he'd gotten us in trouble, or he'd gotten in trouble, and my mom was having to deal with it, and she was always very stressed out and stuff. And seeing her stressed out pissed me off to no end. And there was a day where he came in, and she was confronting him about something he had done, and he like screamed at her and yelled at her or whatever, and it looked like she was on the verge of both killing him and crying. And I don't know what had happened to me that day, but it was kind of like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 in Dragon Ball. There was just like a snap where like the room got dark, there was just a red line going across, and something in me snapped, and I had just had enough. So I went and I got into his face, because I'm also not very confrontational, but I went and I got into his face, and I was like, you need to get away from her, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure I was not saying pleasant things. I'm sure I was cursing, whatever have you. I don't know what I said. But I got into his face and was basically just like trying to get him away from my mom. And whenever I got into his face, I think he thought I was coming in to like attack him. So he put up his hands to like defend
Whatever's
himself.
going on here, I need to hear about all
Good
of
evening,
this.
gentle listener, and welcome to Market Tractable. This week, the gents bravely drop shields about their shadow sounds. Mark judges, tries weight sandwiches, and asks the gents to discuss
15.
their hog-out moments. Carnivorous Wade hams up his hyper-lubricated throat, but opens up about his one berserk battle. Bob defends condiment usage, but is deeply irked by Californian circumnavigation.
Oh, finally.
Mayonnaise ass did to defeating inner darkness.
Been waiting forever to get one of these.
Yes. It's time for...
That's all I gotta do is just sit there and
Now sit back and prepare to be
read
distracted.
my... You know what? That's
and
perfect.
Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Distractable, the only podcast you need to know where I'm the judge and I'm the host of this week's episode. Therefore, I'm the arbitrator of what we talk about, and I will be judging the entries and stories of my fellow, well, not hosts right now, but
That's
fellow
awesome.
podcasteers, Bob, hello, and Wade.
Gotta get that fishing pole. What was it? 150?
You almost just bestowed host powers upon us. That would have been quite the misstep, I have to be honest. That would have been great.
Can we have a triple host episode? Is that even possible?
I mean, yeah, I think they just call that a podcast.
No. No. That's not what it is. No. This is how all podcasts run. They revolve hosting. It is kind of an interesting conundrum to them. That was people don't know, but us like rotating the host was like a very last minute idea when we were brainstorming what the actual like quote official podcast would be. And I think it was like we would just take turns. We were originally going to be like specific roles in the podcast. One of us was going to be like always host, and the others were going to have supporting roles.
Yeah, like story getter or something. I think you want to be story.
Yeah, I was going to be researcher and I was going to do it live, but yeah, no, this is better this way. I like the ramshackle thing.
Yeah, absolutely slap together. That's our style.
It's more us.
Yeah, but we could make this. We could change it now. I'm the host. I could decide what we do from here on out, and then I can make forever that we do it in perpetual host. Me as the perpetual host. Well, I could declare that.
Or you could.
We could put a pin in that one.
We could just undo
I
it
could.
next week, but you could.
No, because you won't be host next week. I'll be the host.
Wouldn't I always be host if I was perpetual host?
I would always be host. I'm perpetual host. If I declare that
I'm perpetual host. I will always be host.
I will always be host.
I will always be host.
I mean, I guess we did give you that power.
Yes. I have that.
And that means Bob and I would never have to come up with topics.
Yes. And then I would be the arbitrator of everything that we do. Beautiful. It would be just
Show up and phone it in.
market tractable and fresh.
Lemonade, health, insurance. 3 words you've probably never heard used together. A drink, your best.
Markipliers, you're welcome, distractable.
Yes, exactly. Yes. All right, fine. It seems like you guys aren't into it. Maybe the red.
Markiplier's your podcast.
I feel like it's only halfway there. There's just some more brainstorming we need, Maybe we need to take turns hosting. What about that?
That's something. Anyway, how are you guys doing?
I'm having the weirdest case of Deja mustard right now.
How are you guys doing?
That's stuff from DBZ Abridged.
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm having a good day. My office is not hot. I don't know if I talked about this, but I have a spoiled bottle of mayonnaise with me, and I just don't have the wherewithal to get rid of it.
You know, no, you haven't.
You carry it around with you, or just in your office?
It's in my office.
Okay, I thought maybe you just carried it around. You couldn't bring yourself to get rid of it because you'd been through so much together.
No, it's right here. I have a fridge in my office. It's mainly for drinks, but I brought this out because I had a snack out here the other day, and I was like, oh, put some mayo on that. And I, for some ungodly reason, brought this to my office. And I put it in the fridge, and then I didn't close the fridge. So I came back to my office the following day to a fridge that was like 80 degrees, and mayonnaise, I think, probably is no good no more. But
I would not recommend it unless
I haven't tried it. You know,
Hold on a second.
it smells like mayonnaise.
Wait.
How,
I thought you just ate some like flat straight up.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy mayonnaise, it's not refrigerated.
But it's sealed.
but yeah, it's airtight
Right?
sealed. Once you open it, you introduce other things into it, potentially.
It's like that old experiment where the guy had like meat, and he was like, flies just appear on this meat. And like the meat that was sealed didn't have flies, but the meat with the hole got flies. It's kind of like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got fly mayonnaise.
Commercially produced mayonnaise, as opposed to homemade mayonnaise, does not need to be refrigerated.
Even after opening?
But that's horrific.
Why?
Does it say, wait, Bob, the thing should say, does it say on it, keep refrigerated?
Does it say?
Does it say?
Refrigerate after opening. It would say if you had to.
12 fluid ounces. Picture of a baby. That's why I bought it, because I have one of those.
Okay.
Uh,
I have one of those. I like mayonnaise. I'll get this.
since 1919. QP mayonnaise, that's not the one that we need. Ingredients. Contains eggs. Refrigerate after opening. Do not freeze.
But it says food scientists find it's because mayo undergoes strict testing and its acidic nature slows the growth of bacteria associated with foodborne illnesses.
I mean, this is a very QP is a very popular common brand, but it's not like it's Duke's or like Hellman's or something. It's a different kind of mayonnaise, right? It has a two-way chef cap. What if that's too fancy to be unrefrigerated?
But that's the thing, right? I have this perception that mayonnaise, if you left it out, it would become horrible very quickly. But it wouldn't. Chug that bottle. Chug it.
Well,
Chug
hey,
it
I'll give you
Sure,
10
other reasons.
I'll give you 10 points if you chug it.
Okay, I'll chug the bottle. Here we go. Oh, so much mayonnaise. Okay, yeah, some got in my mouth. I don't like that.
Wow, you should be an actor.
Some definitely got in my mouth.
How'd it taste?
It's kind of like I ate some mayonnaise while I have a Jolly Rancher in my mouth.
Do you have a shirt in your mouth?
Yeah, I do. I wasn't quite. We hit record and you were like, "Let's go," and I was like, "Oh, I'll finish this Jolly Rancher as we start the episode." It's not gone yet. I've been trying to tuck it under.
Weren't you prepared to eat mayonnaise?
I mean, I should show up prepared to chug mayonnaise.
Yeah, we all should. We all should.
So that is on me.
It's one of those things where it's like, if it did taste like there was a Jolly Rancher, it would prove that it was spoiled. But I think because it tastes like mayonnaise, I don't think mayonnaise spoils. And I think this is a divisive issue. I think a lot of people think you need to refrigerate a lot more things than you really do.
Probably.
Because if you go to restaurants all the time, ketchup and mustard is left out. But where do people put their ketchup in their home? Usually, it's in the fridge.
Well, the fridge is convenient, but I've seen people keep ketchup in the pantry. Ketchup and mustard are very acidic, like a different level of acidity than just mayonnaise.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because they have like vinegar in them as an ingredient. Mayonnaise
What do you think
is not,
mayonnaise have?
Mayonnaise should be a fat emulsified into another fat. It should be egg yolks emulsified into like an oil or something. The ingredients for this mayonnaise are soybean oil, egg yolk, water, distilled vinegar, salt, sugar, mustard flour, rice vinegar. Mayonnaise isn't supposed to have vinegar in it. Mayonnaise is an egg yolk.
That's a crunch of mayonnaise. That's homemade mayonnaise.
No, mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise is an egg yolk emulsified into and fat. an oil of some sort.
What does emulsified into even mean?
It means you blend it into it and it becomes a suspension where the fats mix together because they're not naturally attracted to each other. So you force it by blending it to be mixed into a homogeneous mixture. The emulsification, that's how, you know how salad dressing can like separate? When salad dressing is all mixed up, it's emulsified. But it can separate because the oil and the non-oils are not naturally attracted to each other.
So homemade mayonnaise would be that, but apparently...
But like that's normal mayonnaise. You don't put
mayonnaise
vinegar in
needs
normal
an
mayonnaise, do
acid.
you?
Mayonnaise needs an acid.
But
It
it's
says
lemon. You put lemon in it.
it's an acid. It could either be lemon or vinegar. It's either one of those. It just needs an acid.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
This is what it is.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I don't like it, Mark. I'm allowed to not like things, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm with Bob. I also don't like mayonnaise.
Heard it here first. Mark Potter says you have to like everything he likes.
That's true.
He is the perpetual host.
As judge, I declare that you must like what I like.
Well, I don't. So what about that then?
Well, I think you're dumb.
Well, I think you're a very nice man. And this is out of character for you.
My day was fine. Thank you guys for asking.
Wade, what do you think of mayonnaise?
I don't really care for it. My family likes mayonnaise. I don't, but, you know, it's...
Well, you don't like anything.
What do you like as a sandwich condiment then?
I like ketchup. None.
Ketchup.
You know, I eat my...
You don't have like mustard? You don't have like... Ketchup is not a
ham and cheese sandwich. It is bread, ham, and cheese. If I go crazy, I might do like a ham and turkey and cheese.
Why don't
Or
you
if get
just eat scoops of sand? Jesus Christ. That sounds like the driest,
feels
most
like a joke.
unpleasant food I could imagine eating. A sandwich without a sauce.
That's right, Bob.
It doesn't have to be mayonnaise, but it needs a sauce.
Do you have like a hyper lubricated throat or something? How do you get that down?
I have a beverage with my meal.
If I ate a sandwich with just bread and fillings in it, with no lubrication base, no sauce or anything, I would choke on that. I would get halfway through the sandwich and be like,
I must
How
have
did he
a
get steaks
wide-ass
from?
throat, because no, I don't need any of that. I just eat the sandwich. In fact, I usually eat 2 sandwiches.
Do you dip it in water?
I'm not opposed to 2 sandwiches. I love 2 sandwiches.
Here's what I do. I get a slice of bread. I put meat and cheese on it. Put the other slice of bread. Eat. Or maybe I go crazy and I have a PB and J. Sometimes I just go.
Those are the wrong sauces, though. That one totally makes sense. You don't need anything for that.
That is fine.
That's fine. That's fine. That's acceptable.
Meat is kind of wetty. Meat?
I'm sorry. Meat is not a sauce.
Are you sloppy
Did you get like a ham?
You slopping up those steaks? You putting water
No, but
on
if
your
you get
steaks?
like lunch meat ham is like moist. If you have like leftover chicken and you like slice it and put on there, maybe your chicken is drier after being like, you know, baked and then whatever. But like, if you just buy deli meat,
no deli meat is adequately moist to forego any sort of sauce on a sandwich. You need some mustard.
I don't put anything on my burgers other than
You need
cheese
some
and
honey
bacon.
mustard?
I don't put anything on my sandwiches. I just like the flavor of it by itself. It doesn't need more.
But you miss out on a world of flavor. There's adaptability.
I think you conceal some of the flavor by burying it with too many other flavors.
We've been down this road before,
You're
and
right.
we need to let Wade enjoy what he enjoys, but that honestly just sounds so dry and unpleasant. A sandwich with no sauce on it sounds just awful.
Yes.
I love a good ham and cheese
This
sandwich.
is the
Just ham and
man
cheese.
that you defend. This is like that clip from that show. It's like, this is your man that you're going to stick by. He's like, that's my man.
Look at me. I'm doing great. I look great. I enjoy food.
So do you eat chicken wings with no sauce in them? Just dry, crunchy, throat-destroying wings?
I have. I mean, I prefer a buffalo sauce, but I'll eat them.
You have? I'm concerned that you made that choice one single time ever.
I can't handle too much heat. I like hot sauce, but it has to be like a little bit of it. So a lot of times when I order wings, I order them well done so they stay crispy, and I also get them with light sauce so they're not drowning in sauce. Sometimes they go too light on the sauce, and it's like eating a plain wing, and it's like, this could have used a little bit more, but like, you know, I'll eat it, it's fine.
You know, they make non-spicy sauces. Parmesan garlic is possibly one of the best wing flavors that exists.
I like some of those, but I do like a little bit of the buffalo taste without having like the buffalo drown and like it's stuck in your mouth, your lips are burning, your hands are burning, you're crying, you're like, so good. You can have the flavor without drowning in the pain.
I'm generally with you. I will say there's
Yep.
something about the sweet, spicy Korean barbecue wings that this Korean place has near us, where I don't like spicy food, but I eat those and I get done and I'm all, oh god, it's so hot. But I want more. Oh. There's something about that flavor that's specific Korean. I think it's gochujang, something spicy sweet. Yeah, but yeah, the buffalo could be. I'm with you. I'll give you. You know what? I'll give you your chicken wings. Fry sandwich is too far for me. That's a lot.
Too far. All right, burger, plain burger. Okay.
That sounds awful. Burger with no aioli, burger with no ketchup, mustard, relish, burger with nothing interesting on it. That's
bacon. I'll put some bacon on it.
I mean, that is good.
I'm moving on for now because we could be a whole episode here, and I don't want to stick around on this topic forever. In the small talk round, Bob, you earned 5 points. I gave you some bonus points for actually tasting the mayonnaise. And then, wait, I gave you 3 points. I didn't deduct anything, but I want you to know I should have. I really should have.
Thanks.
Anyway.
Wait, you should just say that you like food, even if you don't, just so you can earn more points on the podcast. I think it's really killing
honest. I know whenever I'm walking into, like, you guys have, like, a punching glove extended, and I see it spring-loaded, I'm like, all I have to do is walk around it. Wait, do you like mayonnaise? It's like, just break it.
No, listen, it's okay if you don't like mayonnaise. That's fine, yeah. Dry sandwich is a lot. I'm not even saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I can't imagine that that's pleasant.
I love ketchup. I just don't want it on my burgers and stuff because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. I couldn't tell you why.
Well, then what does it go on? You just eat ketchup on French fries and that's
it?
I like
fried foods with it. Like if I get like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, fried fish.
All right, no, you know what, Mark? I did the opposite of
you
what
did the thing. You did the thing. You did the thing.
I need to let it go. I need to let it go. Moving on.
So,
but how could you? No, I'm sorry.
Today's topic, this is a good segue, because today's topic is moments of unbridled rage. I want to talk about the moments in our lives when we have been at our most angry, whether it was justified or not, or whether it lasted a long time or not, whether we broke something or not, times when the unfettered emotion of rage exploded through our very core and either resulted in some tumultuous times or otherwise was justified.
I feel like one of the most rage-filled moments in my entire life is actually captured, memorialized as an episode of this podcast. So that's a good one. If you haven't listened to the Bobs. Oh, you're killing Wade. I got you. If you haven't listened to Bob's Fridge episode, that's up there for me. But I would say the other one that comes to mind is on the bus in Vegas.
I love that film. I wish we had the film.
I cannot believe that recording didn't work. And we've talked about that before. I think on
They
this
keep talking
podcast.
about Bob's
So
Fridge. I need to watch that one.
That was completely unjustified rage. I think is why that stands out to me. Because I don't even remember why I was so mad. Yeah. I was so fucking mad at you guys, but I don't remember why. It was stupid.
I don't remember either.
We'll never know. It's gone forever. But I definitely have some like daily rages. I have some little ones that come up that I think might surprise you guys.
Cool. I have one major one. I'm going to throw it back and we're going to do titles again. So you got to come up with a clever title. We got bonus points on the line.
I have a title.
What's the title?
All right, I need to like wrap myself up for this. It's a rage title, right? So. Oh, great! Just go around.
All right. Okay. That's good. Wait.
I'm not going to say the title with rage. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. I should be in prison.
It's very intriguing.
That's really intriguing, Wade, but the passion with which Bob delivered his title,
that's fine.
I have to go with that.
I'm not excited to talk about this story. It's an awful moment for me, so I don't even want to win.
Well, all right,
it's an exciting topic, and I'm too honest. I'm walking into the glove.
I'm excited. I want to hear this. I'm interested. I don't think I know what story you're about to tell, and if I do, I've already forgotten. So I'm excited either way. So it's I go? I'm up?
Yes, Bob, please, take the floor.
Okay, all right, great, I'll just go around. So I'm going to say this is like a summary of a thing that happens that is one of the most quintessentially California things about living here in general. It happens a lot in the car, but it also happens everywhere else. anywhere humans are moving, this thing happens. And it's a thing I never experienced in Ohio. I lived in Ohio for a long time. North Carolina, lived there for 6 years. This did not happen. I've been to lots of places around the world and, traveled to Europe, and we were very lucky to do the tours and stuff. Never experienced this as in the same way that it happens in California. Is the instinct that Californians have the moment anything stops. You're driving in a lane of traffic, you're walking down an aisle in the grocery store, you're walking down a sidewalk. If a person in front of you stops in California, the immediate thought, without a moment of even hesitation, without slowing down, every Californian just thinks, I'll just go around. Like there's not some reason that the person in front of you just stopped. If you're walking down an aisle at the grocery store, and I'm walking down an aisle at the grocery store, and there's a person in front of me grabbing a thing off the shelf, and I'm like, I'll just wait. It's a busy aisle. There's people going both directions, and I'll just wait a sec. This person's just grabbing a thing, and then they're going to continue. If I stop moving forward for even a millisecond, every other Californian in the entire world is like, I will just go around. He's stopping for no fucking reason. I'll just go cut him off. And it's the thing that makes me mad is like they do that, and it's like, okay, well, just be patient. They do that, and then there's like oncoming traffic, right? Someone is trying to walk around me in the grocery store, and there's carts coming the other way, so there's no room. The person who has pulled out into the wrong, the oncoming traffic, so to speak, they're the one who gets like indignant about it. They do this, and then they're like, excuse. And I've seen it happen where the people who are just walking down the aisle from the opposite direction back up and let the person through who's just going around. And I'm like,
Right, rewarding stupidity.
but it happens
Facts.
everywhere, and it happens most specifically in traffic. If you're in a parking lot, my favorite is the series of I'll just go arounds that happen. If you're in a parking lot and someone's like waiting for a spot, right? There's a car backing out, you're waiting. There's like one guy stopped, and then one guy will be like, I'll just go around. But he'll get stopped because the car is backing out. And now there's two cars, and a third guy comes and is like, I wonder why these two cars are stopped. I'll just go around. And you end up with people like pulling around and around, and this shit just happens everywhere in California. And no matter what context it happens in, I'm filled with rage. But if I'm alone in my car, I scream at them because no one can hear me. I literally, if I'm driving alone in my car and someone does that, I just look over. I'm like, oh great, just go around, go. I don't flick them off or anything, but I scream at them because it's so cathartic to be able to address the fact that no one in California knows what a line is for or how to wait for 5 seconds. It's a little thing, but it honestly fills me with rage on a daily basis. Going out in public,
I get pissed listening to this,
you get
dude.
this
That
everywhere in California. Everywhere. Grocery store, DMV.
Really?
You could literally be waiting in a line to check out at a store, and someone will come up and think to themselves like, are you in line? There's a little tiny gap between your cart and the heels of the person in front of you. Maybe you're not in line. Maybe you're just stopped in this aisle for some reason. I'll just go around so I can get in line in front of you. I have confronted people. I'm not like a confrontational person. I've confronted people in person where like they did that. They tried to cut around me, and I was like, "Excuse me, why do you think I'm waiting here? I am in line. Please get in line behind me if you would like to." And they were always like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you." And I'm like, "How am I the one who's an asshole in this situation? You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Everywhere in California, constantly happens. It sends me off on a whole thing. Like,
that blows my mind. There's like 3 people in Ohio that do that.
That's really cool.
They're
Kind of want to do
always
that.
like shamed, flipped off, and screamed at for like they must be people that are visiting from California, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like that's kind of rare here. And when it does happen, that person is very obviously an asshole who has no idea what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And honestly probably deserves to be crucified, but we don't do that to people who are assholes. I guess it's kind of an exaggerated punishment, but in my brain it's what I want for them. Oh my god, I'm evil.
So yeah, great, just go around. There's my thing.
I hate this topic, Mark.
I hate this topic.
I love hearing about it. I don't love talking about it, but I love hearing about it. Wade, I can't wait to hear why you should be in prison.
Dude, okay. This is a story. This is a tale because there's a lot that builds up to the reason. growing up, I have 3 siblings, an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother. And my older brother was notorious for getting into trouble when I grew up. He wasted money, in my opinion, buying, like, the cool gang member car that had the hydraulics, had the big bass in the trunk that you could hear from 10 miles away. The police were called on him for you named the reason so many times growing up. And he and I are starting now at this point in our lives. I'm 34 years old. And for the first time, we've had, like, several civil conversations with each other, and it seems like he's maybe trying to turn his life around finally. But growing up, I hated everything about his existence because he caused our family so much pain and misery over the years. And when I was a teenager, he had moved out, he was doing his own thing, and it's like, okay, I have to deal with this shit when he comes over, but otherwise, he's gone. Breathing room. Something happened in life where he had to move back in with us when I was in high school. And when he moved back in, all of his bullshit came back with him. I don't want to get into all the specifics because it's kind of like, my family's business, and I don't want to air it all out. It's not all my laundry to share. But ultimately, he got into trouble, and his trouble became our trouble. And just as a teenager, your hormones and testosterone and everything else is kind of fluctuating, and you're more prone, I think, to, like, emotional outbursts. At least I was as a teenager. It's like I had more, like, moments of unbridled rage feelings that were kind of exaggerated. But with him, it had been a lifetime of buildup. And I remember he'd gotten us in trouble, or he'd gotten in trouble, and my mom was having to deal with it, and she was always very stressed out and stuff. And seeing her stressed out pissed me off to no end. And there was a day where he came in, and she was confronting him about something he had done. And he, like, screamed at her and yelled at her or whatever, and it looked like she was on the verge of both killing him and crying. And I don't know what had happened to me that day, but it was kind of like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 and Dragon Ball, there was just, like, a snap. Where, like, the room got dark, there was just a red line going across, and something in me snapped. And I had just had enough. So I went and I got into his face, because I'm also not very confrontational. But I went and I got into his face, and I was like, you need to get away from her, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure I was not saying pleasant things. I'm sure I was cursing, whatever have you. I don't know what I said. But I got into his face and was basically just, like, trying to get him away from my mom. And whenever I got into his face, I think he thought I was coming in to, like, attack him. So he put up his hands to, like, defend himself, thinking I was going to swing. And when he put up his hands, thinking I was going to swing, I thought he was putting up his hands to swing, so that I put up my hands. And then we started, like, fighting. It was the only fist fight I've ever been in my life. And, of course, I don't know how to fight, so I'm all, like, in my mind, I look like Rocky Balboa, but in reality, I'm like, stop. Go away. That's probably what it looked like. Stop. In my brain, my thought was, the staircase to the basement is right there. If I get him over there, I can throw his ass down there and just fucking break his neck and finally be rid of this fucking problem. I hate him.
Wait,
I want him dead.
how did we get
have
here?
to get him to that.
I started over focusing
Go arounds that happen. If you're in a parking lot and someone's, like, waiting for a spot, right? There's a car backing out, waiting. There's, like, one guy stopped, and then one guy will be like, oh, I'll just go around. But he'll get stopped because the car is backing out. And now there's 2 cars. And a third guy comes and is like, I wonder why these 2 cars are stopped. I'll just go around. And you end up with people, like, pulling around, and you, like, this shit just happens everywhere in California. And no matter what context it happens in, I'm filled with rage. But if I'm alone in my car, I scream at them because no one can hear me. I literally, if I'm driving alone in my car and someone does that, I just look over. I'm like, oh great, just go around, go. I don't flick them off or anything, but I scream at them because it's so cathartic to be able to address the fact that no one in California knows what a line is for. We're gonna wait for 5 seconds. It's a little thing, but it
Should have
honestly
bought me
fills me
another
with rage
cooler.
on a daily basis. Going out
Still
in public,
I get pissed.
you get this everywhere.
Just thought about that.
Everywhere in California. Everywhere. Grocery store, DMV. Really? You could literally be waiting in a line to check out at a store, and someone will come up and think to themselves, like, huh, are you in line? There's a little tiny gap between your cart and the heels of the person in front of you. Maybe you're not in line. Maybe you're just stopped in this aisle for some reason. I'll just go around so I can get in line in front of you. I have confronted people. I'm not like a confrontational person. I've confronted people in person where, like, they did that. They tried to cut around me, and I was like, excuse me, why do you think I'm waiting here? I am in line. Please get in line behind me if you would like to. And they were always like, oh, I'm sorry if I offended you. And I'm like, how am I the one who's an asshole in this situation? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Everywhere in California, it constantly happens. It sends me off on a whole thing.
Like, that blows my mind. There's like 3 people in Ohio that do that, and they're always like shamed, flipped off, and screamed at for like they must be people that are visiting from California, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like that's kind of rare here. And when it does happen, that person is very obviously an asshole who has no idea what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And honestly probably deserves to be crucified, but we don't do that to people who are assholes. I guess it's kind of an exaggerated punishment, but in my brain it's what I want for them. Oh my god, I'm evil.
So yeah, oh great, just go around. There's my thing. That
I hate this topic, Mark.
I hate it.
I love hearing about it. I don't love talking about it, but I love hearing about it. Wade, I can't wait to hear why you should be in prison.
Dude, okay. This is a story. This is a tale because there's a lot that builds up to the reason. Growing up, I have 3 siblings, an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother. And my older brother was notorious for getting into trouble when I grew up. He wasted money, in my opinion, buying like the cool gang member car that had the hydraulics, had the big bass in the trunk that you could hear from 10 miles away. The police were called on him for you named the reason so many times growing up. And he and I are starting now at this point in our lives. I'm 34 years old. And for the first time, we've had like several civil conversations with each other, and it seems like he's maybe trying to turn his life around finally. But growing up, I hated everything about his existence because he caused our family so much pain and misery over the years. And when I was a teenager, he had moved out. He was doing his own thing. And it's like, okay, I have to deal with his shit when he comes over, but otherwise, he's gone. Breathing room. Something happened in life where he had to move back in with us when I was in high school. And when he moved back in, all of his bullshit came back with him. I don't want to get into all the specifics because it's kind of like, my family's business and I don't want to air it all out. It's not all my laundry to share. But ultimately, he got into more trouble, and his trouble became our trouble. And just as a teenager, your hormones and testosterone and everything else is kind of fluctuating, and you're more prone, I think, to like emotional outbursts. At least I was as a teenager. It's like I had more like moments of unbridled rage feelings that were kind of exaggerated. But with him, it had been a lifetime of buildup. And I remember he'd gotten us in trouble, or he'd gotten in trouble, and my mom was having to deal with it, and she was always very stressed out and stuff. And seeing her stressed out pissed me off to no end. And there was a day where he came in, and she was confronting him about something he had done. And he, like, screamed at her and yelled at her or whatever, and it looked like she was on the verge of both killing him and crying. And I don't know what had happened to me that day, but it was kind of like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 and Dragon Ball, there was just like a snap where like the room got dark, there was just a red line going across, and something in me snapped, and I just had enough. So I went and I got into his face. I'm also not very confrontational, but I went and I got into his face, and I was like, you need to get away from her, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure I was not saying pleasant things. I'm sure I was cursing, whatever have you. I don't know what I said. But I got into his face and was basically just like trying to get him away from my mom. And whenever I got into his face, I think he thought I was coming in to like attack him. So he put up his hands to like defend himself, thinking I was going to swing. And when he put up his hands, thinking I was going to swing, I thought he was putting up his hands to swing. So then I put up my hands, and then we started like fighting. It was the only fist fight I've ever been in my life. And of course, I don't know how to fight, so I'm all like, in my mind, I look like Rocky Balboa, but in reality, I'm like, stop. That's what it looked like. Stop. In my brain, my thought was, the staircase to the basement is right there. If I get him over there, I can throw his ass down there and just fucking break his neck and finally be rid of this fucking problem. I hate him. I want him dead. I just have to get him to that staircase, and all of this can be done. And like my only thought in my head was get him over there and end him. And thankfully, my mom and my sister intervened, and they separated us, which wasn't hard because neither one of us knew how to fight, and we were both terrible at it. But that moment taught me that I probably, in the right circumstance, could kill somebody. And I'm a very moral person. I like to think of myself as a good person. And it was like, that haunted me. That moment fucking, it still haunts me. Because it showed me that I could be pushed to the brink of, like, just, there's no thought, there's no, like, thinking ahead. Just in that moment, it was like I had one instinct, and that was kill, get rid of. And if they hadn't intervened, I mean, I don't know that I'm strong enough or could have actually thrown him down the stairs, but all I wanted for, let's call it 3 seconds of time, was to get him there and throw him down and just see him lying there motionless. And the sigh of relief I was looking forward to having. And, like, it's such a scary, horrible thought to have. And I cannot believe that I had it. I've never had it since. I never had it before. But just a lifetime of buildup of him and the stress he caused, the financial stress, the mental stress, the legal troubles, everything about his existence growing up to me was a negative. All of that feeling of people like going around and that rage you felt, everything he did, from the smell of his cigar body to the sound of his music to the way he dressed, I hated everything about his existence. And just in that moment, something in me snapped and I was just done. And if I had
Shit.
the opportunity to kill him, I might have. And my entire life would obviously be very different because I'd probably be in prison right now. And I'm pretty sure I would have not even tried to fight. I would have just been like, yeah, I did it. And, I'm gone, but at least he's gone too. And I think I would have been satisfied with that in life at that point. And for us to be talking right now and trying to work things out a little bit, it's honestly a miracle. Because, for 33 years, I've known nothing except for contempt for this man. And this is a really personal thing to be talking about on a public podcast. But when you said unbridled rage, it was the first and only example that really came to mind because it's the only time in my life that I have snapped beyond any kind of thought. There was nothing. There was no rational thought. It was literally just attack. And my first thought was, I'm going to go get him away from my mom. But the moment his hands went up, it was just blank. It was a blank slate of, I see the stairs, I see him, whatever. He hits me, whatever. Get him there. And it's such a mind fuck to think that I could have maybe, I don't know if I would have, obviously, thankfully I won't know. But that is all I wanted in my mind. And I have never been able to successfully rationalize in my brain what happened that day and how I felt and what I wanted. Brutal. That's very serious.
So I'm 33 years, you popped out the womb angry.
At that time, I was like 17, I think. I was probably 17 when that happened.
Gotcha, okay. I see. Well, that was a great story.
I know this is a very jokey podcast, but this is a moment that I probably should have talked to a therapist about at this point in life because it truly eats away at me.
It kind of sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it's a serious hole for you in terms of how you view yourself.
Well, it is because we all rationalize our behaviors and thoughts because we have behaviors and thoughts. But to have a moment where you just completely blanked and all you could think about was doing something like the worst criminal moral thing you could possibly do, but it was like a lust, like a bloodlust for it. It was like I was salivating at the thought of getting to do this. And it was just like a different person had taken over me, like a werewolf or something. It was a wild experience and thought, and I cannot ever forgive myself for even feeling it. It's a very difficult emotional thing to know that boils inside me.
I think you could eventually forgive yourself for it. It's something that I also.
I didn't even do anything, but it feels unforgivable.
You can forgive yourself for a thought, but that's again, I would encourage trying to talk about that in therapy, but only when you're ready.
I should. I really should.
Yeah, no, I would say, I think it's very different, but I feel like it's connected, is since we had the baby, I have struggled with him in ways that I did not expect, and I have not had, the violent thoughts. That's a specific, how you see that, how you feel, might be different from how I feel, but I have struggled to feel like I'm loving the baby in some ways. I didn't bond with him as much as I thought I would, which people say happens, but I kind of blamed him for Mandy's health problems, right? The birth was really scary for me. We did an episode where I talked about that. And I resented the baby because he is what caused Mandy all this scary health stuff. He almost, caused a serious issue where he may have died, Mandy might have died. It took a long, in the last month or month and a half maybe, it took that long, and he's 5.5 months right now. Of me talking with a therapist about this and talking to Mandy about this and seriously looking at myself because it poked such a big hole in how I viewed myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why I felt that way. And like I said, this is not the same thing, but I feel like this connects somehow.
I see the connection.
How you say how it affects how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, it's startling.
I would recommend talking about it because I was very shocked when I started to really talk about it and identify and say out loud the things, what I was feeling, why I was feeling that, and why it was directed at the baby. Because for a long time I was like, I just don't like babies. I can't stand this kid. Why is it why am I a bad person? It's not that I don't like babies. And he and I get along really good right now. And it's been
so simple and so difficult.
But it came from a thing of had to do with how I viewed myself because I couldn't. Anyway, it's complicated, but I would highly recommend it. I talked to a therapist and it helped a lot, actually.
I even blamed, so in a similar vein, after that happened and I couldn't believe that I reacted that way and felt that way, I didn't even blame myself for that reaction. I blamed him for it. I was like, well, he did this to me. He made me feel this way. This is all that's very easy to do. We rationalize shit all the time. Our bad thoughts, behavior, whatever. It's like, oh no, someone else, whatever rationalization we have to do to make ourselves look better in our own minds. We can't be at fault. And you find ways to outwardly blame. Yeah. I've had a lot of time to process this. I've had half my life to process that moment.
Well, that's some serious shit.
There's probably still more processing to do.
There probably is.
Just like I also I'm big proponent of therapy.
I am too.
People usually see my videos and they're like, oh, the funny haha rage moments. But then I'll talk about no, I don't like playing rage games because I don't like being angry. And it's not just I don't like being angry. I don't like tapping into that side of myself or even feeding that side of myself.
Right.
Because the last time that I got
That's
really
what I be
angry
trying to
on
tell
a video
people.
was during Unis Honest when I punched a hole in the wall. I remember
Let
that
me tell you what
video.
it is.
And yeah, we edited around it, and we edited it in a way that was like, oh, ha, ha, funny, funny. That moment was not funny. In real life, when we were filming, Ethan was about ready to leave because he was like, well, there's no fucking way.
Just make me look like
it
pure
was just
shit.
ooh, I don't know what the fuck is happening. It's like, I don't know why. I was so angry because it was right before we were doing the bike ride, totally fine. Something in the bike ride about what Ethan was doing was
What
just
was the
annoying
difference
me,
in that
but
jump?
he's annoyed me before, and that's totally fine. But something about my anger that I usually like to keep under wraps just got tripped there. It had something to do with if I talked to a therapist about it. It was to do with my insecurities about athleticism that tie into how I was in high school and how I was looked down upon for certain athletic events, and it tied.
Nope, I want to hear all that. Absolutely.
Into my life, my inability to perform at the level that I expect. Lots of different things it ties into, but it could easily just be blamed snapped at that moment. It's sometimes if you look at it in reality, that moment for me was not really something that should have led to that much anger, and yet it did. And there was evidence man, I should look into this. But that's why I don't like to go into those places in the first place, which is also fine. You don't need to dig up everything in your past. There's something about actors, a lot of acting classes will teach you you gotta tap into your most painful things. I'm that's horribly damaging and also incredibly disrespectful to your own past and the experiences that you had.
That's bullshit.
You choose to use it, that's fine. But just if you
I made it through clean and clear the first time we did this.
I don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
First one and the last one gave me the most trouble. Me and my
Real,
daughter.
and I think everyone experiences it at some time or another.
That's the person who died here.
We as humans are just capable of incredible.
Shouldn't have said nothing till after.
It's rage because rage is emotion. But I also talked to a therapist recently about the fact that you can't purely deny your rage because rage is also much like sadness, a useful emotion when it's justified. Being angry about something, it is exploited in today's age in terms of media and everything like that. But anger is a real emotion and cannot be fully expunged, which is something that I tried to do for a very long time, which led to even bigger outbursts at random moments. But it's a fascinating balance, which is why I like talking about it. I'm glad you guys are sharing.
Oof, okay.
Thinking about playing D&D
And I'm
online?
off. I
Here
didn't
were
even mean to
3
do
things
that.
you needed to know. 1. No setup
Did
needed.
not mean to start.
It's a fascinating balance, which is why I like talking about it. I'm glad you guys are sharing. Yeah,
I want to differentiate before I forget. So when we play games like Uno, Barbara is famous for me, right? The Barbara Rage or whatever.
Pimp
But
shit.
that is so different. When I get mad at a video game, it's like you get mad. I think sometimes, Mark, when you play rage games where you actually feel like ragey. Like I get mad with playing Uno, Barbara, whatever. Like when shit like that happens, it's like I know that I'm making content rage. Where it's like I knew going in that shit like that could happen, and I wouldn't say I fake it, but I definitely like I play up the rage. I lean into it. It's like oh god, because you feel frustrated, right? Whenever something you get screwed over in a card game or something, it's like that sigh. But I like lean into that sigh for like making content and stuff like that. I've only actually gotten super angry making content like I think once. I was recording Gmod with people. We recorded for like an hour and a half, and like the way it went down, I was actually angry. And the moment it ended, I deleted all the content. I was just so angry. That's happened one time where I've actually gotten mad making content. The other rage is like a different. I don't know how to qualify it or quantify it. It's a different thing that I tap into for that. It's a real feeling, but it's slightly exaggerated and played up, and it's like, I'm frustrated, so I should scream! Like, stuff like that. But the rage that I felt that one day with my brother was very different, and I know that that's in me to get there, because I've gotten there now at least one time. I've only ever actually gotten, like, to the point of being super mad, like, actually angry, maybe twice in the last 10 years, where it's like I've had a moment where it's like, I'm actually pissed. Like, I'll get angry, I'll get frustrated, I'll whatever, but it takes a lot. I've got a pretty high tolerance. But whenever I get to a certain point and, like, something actually, like, snaps me to where it's like I want to punch a hole in the wall or throw a chair or something like that, it is super rare. Like, after that moment, I can think of actually one moment since I was 17 where I got that angry, and then I didn't really do anything about it. I just went off and huffed and calmed myself down, but I felt that, not the same degree of rage, but just, I got there. I got to the point of, like, I'm so angry right now, I can't even have a conversation. I need to go be on my own for a few minutes just to process it, and I'll talk after mad. That's happened like once. So I don't get there very easily very often. It takes a lot. But whenever I do get there, and after my brother, it's like seeing how scary I can be, or at least how I can feel. It's like I try everything in my power to never let myself get there. So it's like, if there's a problem, I don't sit on it. We'll talk it through. We'll work it out. If I'm mad at one of you two, or if Molly and I are disagreeing about something, it's like, we can have a few minutes to cool down, but then we're going to work it out. We're not going to go to bed mad. This is not going to boil over and become some big thing. Because with my brother, it was a lifetime of buildup that all came out in one moment. And it's like, I can't ever let things get there again. Because that buildup, whenever it finally released, it was just like seeing someone else take over your body and mind. And I wasn't even trapped in the corner. It was like, just after it happened, it was like, I couldn't believe I was standing there, like, with my arms up in the air, looking like an asshole who doesn't know how to fight, but also just the thought process. I don't know. Very different. It's very different than, like, gamer rage for me. It's completely different ends of the spectrum on how I feel about things. I don't get that kind of mad whenever I make content of any kind.
Fair enough. All right, that's the end of round one. Congratulations, guys. You did great. I assigned many points to that. Bob got the bonus point. Wade, you got a certain number of points, but I won't tell you what it is just because I want to keep it secret. But hey, Bob,
Fair.
Great job that
All right.
All right, who's ready for round two? Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have a round two, but yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to hear more rage.
I don't have like a really serious story like Wade. Is that okay?
Oh, it doesn't have to be. God, it don't have to bring down the mood like Wade did. Come on, give me some spice. Give me some content. No,
I'm like rocking in my chair over here, like, why did I do this?
Sorry, Wade. It's Bob's turn to talk.
Yes, Mr. Markiplier. Mr. Markiplier.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Markiplier. Yes.
Yeah.
Title. What's the title for
Yeah,
this?
who's got
I have an
stories?
idea.
Who got titles?
I think I have a title. You could do your title first if you want this time, Wade. I'll give you a minute to think.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have a.
If you need time to think,
Get out of my house.
Okay.
Thought of a moment. I titled it.
Okay.
Improv.
Got
But
it,
it's a real story.
All right. My title is I will fucking throw you against the wall.
Don't turn me a good time.
that's pretty good. Get out of my house. I will throw you against a wall. These are pretty good. Wait, can you say yours with more passion?
Get out of my house.
I think Bob's.
Which one is it? Like throwing you against the wall.
The
It's
bait
and switch.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say the title.
I knew it was coming, but I indulged anyway.
The title might be the best part of mine, but this is one that gets me. I am a pretty tech savvy person. In this job that we do, there's a lot of tech bullshit that happens. Windows updates, and it ruins all your sound settings and all this sort of stuff. And I get frustrated with that, but like a reasonable amount. And I'm pretty good at fixing things. I'm usually able to get to a solution. Something that gets me, and this is like a very boomer take, but something that gets me is I love smartphones. I love where phones are today. They are fantastic. It's cool that you have the entire internet just available in your pocket. The way it works is awesome. I love it. And I don't really struggle with like how they function. You know, like I'm comfortable navigating smartphones, using apps, whatever. I'm not that old. But a core thing about a cell phone for me is it fucking needs to be a phone when I fucking need a phone. The whole thing about the cell phone is you don't have to go find a payphone, you have a cell phone. And in the world we live in today, there aren't payphones because everyone has a cell phone. Like if you're in any sort of populated area, there used to be payphones on the corners or in front of, gas stations or whatever. Totally common thing. Go put a quarter in, make a phone call, whatever. If today's world, if your cell phone doesn't work, you're fucked. You mean, hopefully you could just ask a stranger to borrow a phone or whatever. I don't want to do that. But my phone does all kinds of mystical shit. My phone has an AI. Also, I got the case, by the way, Mark. We talked about this in a previous episode. I got the quad lock. I do. It checks a lot of boxes. It's not like perfection, but it's pretty close. But that's another thing. But anyway, like my phone does all kinds of crazy shit. It has AI in it. It can do all kinds of nonsense. But sometimes it's not a phone, and it makes me so mad. There have been a couple instances in my life where, and they were in the past when smartphones were a little less good, a little less modern, but still basically wonders of technology, right? Basically a magical access point to the internet that lives in my pocket, and I could do anything I want. But I was like, my car broke down, and I was like, there's not an app or whatever. I need to call a tow company. I need to call someone to come help me. My car's broken down. I don't have a spare. I just need to make a phone call. And I happened to be in a place where, like, the coverage was bad. It was, like, between cell towers. So I couldn't use my phone to make a phone call. And it turned into this thing where I was like, well, maybe if I just walk up the road a little bit, I'll get better cell service. Didn't. Then I was like, well, maybe I'll just dip into like a gas station or somewhere and like borrow their phone or whatever. It was all like private businesses, right? It was like lawyers' offices and places where you're not really like, you don't have a reason to go in there. And so most of them were like locked doors, not really storefronts where you're invited in as a random person. I had to walk for 1.5 miles to find a place where I could borrow a phone to make a phone call. And like, it's unreasonable. Because technology doesn't always work and it's not perfect. But the amount of actual rage I felt at my phone, and this has happened a couple subsequent times as well, I have almost thrown my phone away. Like, just like a movie character, just been like, and thrown my phone just into the street or fucking wherever.
Yep.
One time I did throw my phone.
Yep.
I spiked it. Had a really nice case on it, and the case actually was military grade drop protection, and it had a pretty good bevel protection. It was fine. The phone was fine. I didn't break the phone, but I made a dent in the hardwood floor, which is a little embarrassing. Oops. But like that specific thing where it's like you could do all this magical shit, but you're not a phone when I need you, and in the one emergency I have every 3 years, where I just need to make a phone call. That does get to me, and I have thrown my phone. I didn't throw it against the wall like the title implies, but I spiked it like a football on the floor.
You did say, I will throw you against the wall. So.
Yeah, no, it's a threat. I'm like white knuckle gripping it, like I will fucking throw you into the abyss. So yeah, I mean, not like the craziest rage, but one of those times led to me standing next to my broken down piece of shit car, just screaming in a public place, just like like that psychopath on the side of the road, just like yelling at his car. Because I was like late for work or something, right? It's a thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to get a write-up for this. I might get fired if this you remember my Volkswagen Mark, it broke down all the time. That thing was a piece of garbage.
Today's episode is sponsored by...
Anyway, I don't know, that feels hollow. After such a serious discussion.
No, that's fine. Dude, this is all about random instances of unbridled rage. I think
real things happen to me too, guys. I have hardships. It's not all smartphones and other, real rage.
Man, I was trying to pull up something because I was so curious if it's still there. It's something where I was so unbelievably angry, but it was at YouTube, or specifically YouTube customer support way back in the day when my original channel was demonetized. And so this was it's a phrase that I will remember for a very, very long time because it sticks in my mind. And I've actually heard this phrase before when I get angry because I'm trying to get help with something and it doesn't happen. When I was speaking to them about like, okay, why is it banned? And they were like, we can't tell you. I'm like, why can't you tell me why it's banned? And it's like, because it's banned and there's no point in it. And I'm like, well, then how am I supposed to be better in the future? And they were acting like, oh, why would you be here in the future? You've been banned. And I'm like, I can, what? And it's just like, after a while of back and forth, and I was getting angry, and there's an email chain, I remember hearing, or seeing the words, this conversation is no longer productive. And I was trying to search in my email for this one, but it doesn't seem like it exists anymore. But no phrase has ever gotten me so angry so quickly than being told this conversation is no longer productive. And I go, bitch, this conversation was never productive. You didn't do anything. You didn't tell me anything. You didn't give me anything. You have only left me darker, in deeper darkness than where I was before. You think I wasted your time? What do you mean? You're a customer service. You're supposed to help. Like being told to calm down. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even yell at them. I was not cursing. I was trying to find information of like, well, this is only a cool thing that I could do in maybe my future. I don't know. And I still to this day, I talk about that like, God, I want to know who the fuck that was. Because, like, just where I am now, and I'm like, if that is all it takes to stop someone from making something, and I'm here at this point, it's like, and we talk about that weight a lot. We're like, Susan has entered the chat room. No. And you know the funniest thing is, her the whole time. The funniest thing is, I can log into my old Markiplier YouTube channel. Monetization's back because that whole system changed. So I could go back to that channel. I really. Long live the channel. The channel's back. I should get the same haircut. I should get the same haircut and relaunch the channel. I should totally do that. God, at least for April Fools, you gotta make a video where you look like old Mark and you like, long live the channel, monetization's back. Oh wow, I should. Oh, the dream, you know. Dude, that would be so good.
You could use AI to de-age yourself, and it'll be perfect.
You're right. You don't have to do the talking. There's Mark voice you can use.
Yeah, old Mark voice even.
I think one time I did like streamed on my old channel at just randomly one time, just for fun, and people were so confused.
You should make like weird knockoff Markiplier content on that, so everyone is like, wait, is this like an AI Mark channel? What the fuck is that?
Intentionally make yourself look like. Wow, dude, there's so many bosses on.
Mark, you got so much free time. You should really put your mind to that. I bet you could actually make something if you focused.
You're right.
Put the movie on a shelf. You need to make old 2014 Markiplier. That was even 20. That was like 2012, 2013. Right? That was pretty early.
Yes, 2012.
That was the first year. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that was back in the good old days. Back when YouTube had your own thing that looked like a channel, not this silly one-page crap. You remember when you could customize borders? That was great.
Dude, sometimes I use like the Wayback Machine or whatever it's called. I go back and I look at like way YouTube looked in different years. It's like I never in my brain remember it looking like this, like some of the different versions. It doesn't exist to me, and yet there it is.
The good old days.
Well, I had a story too.
What was your title? I don't even remember now.
Anyway, that's the end of round.
Get out of my.
Right.
Get out of my round.
my whole life to see a total eclipse.
Evil. Fucking
Nice
evil.
skull. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
It's
Out of
evil.
Ah, right.
Get out of my round.
Evil.
All right, what's up, Wade? What's up, Wade?
All right, it's not nearly as good as the first story. That's the one that truly sticks out in my mind. But I guess I have some pet peeves that I don't really consider or think about, but like in hindsight, I do. And one of them is just like mutual respect. When I go to like a friend's house, I'm very respectful. Like as a kid,
Right.
even I
I'm
was
not
like,
over there
okay,
fucking up
this
your
is my
shit.
friend's
I'm not
parents'
doing
house. I
whatever.
want like them to
But
like
then the
me. I don't want to
motherfucker
like
come to
be
your
a
house and they
douche. I don't want to make a mess
disgusting. They
of it
get
if they
on
do
your
that.
fucking
But you know, I'm
nerve.
gonna
They
be
do what they
respectful
want
of their
to with your
rules. Whatever
shit.
they say goes.
For
Yada yada
whatever.
yada.
They stupid.
And in my brain, it's like it wasn't even a
That's one of my
conscious
biggest
thought. But it
pet
was just like,
peeves.
well, of
Like,
course they'll be
bitch,
the
don't
same way
come
at
to
my
my
house,
house.
right? Like if I'm respectful of their house, they'll be respectful of mine. Like whatever. And I remember one of my
That's why
friends came
people act
over, a
when
friend
you
that I
ain't
was
got what you got, though.
over at their house all the time, and I don't
Fucking
even remember what
weird.
they did at this point. I can't remember what they did, but they did something that was like either disrespectful to me or my mom's house or whatever it was, and I was like, I confronted them, but I was like, that's rude. What the fuck are you doing? And they were like, they like brushed it off or something. And the moment they
Seasoning
did that,
jealousy
like
and
the
don't even know why.
disrespect I felt, like I don't, it again,
Crazy.
that moment where it's like, it's what? Excuse me? You think you're better than me? Your response was something other than "I'm sorry, I won't do it again." What did you say? Because in my brain you said "I'm sorry, that won't happen again, dude." Whatever, my bad. But that's not the words that came out of your mouth. Want to try again? And we almost got to the point of blows. We didn't. Like I said, I was not really that confrontational.
Man, you fight a
This
lot.
is another
Man.
instance that
You're
what's up?
constantly
This one I did.
What is this? This is a new side.
We never came to blows, but we did get up in each other's faces, and I will. I was taller than him, so it was more of a. You want to get in my face? Please do. I will use you like a fucking stepladder and splay your entrails across the fucking driveway if you ever disrespect me again. That's why my brain works when I'm angry.
Yeah, no,
But
okay.
ultimately, we got each other's faces, and it looked like we might fight. And then another of my friends intervened, was like, "Dude, just chill." And I was like, "No, I'm not chilling. That is just fucking disrespectful. Get out of my fucking house." And I remember he like looked at me like, "For real?" And like I was not playing around, and he left. We eventually, like after I don't know how long it was, let's call it a week or two, like talked it through, whatever, worked it out, explained our sides of things, and we were friends and we were cool. But like that was a big moment in our relationship that it was like we've been friends for years, and for like that to have happened blew my mind. It was like I have always been so respectful over it. Like you're like, what in the fuckity fuck shit are you doing? And I don't know. I didn't want to forgive him at that moment at all. I was like, I never want to speak to you again. I don't even remember what he did. It probably wasn't even that big of a deal. But just being disrespectful was a pet peeve I didn't even know I had until like someone wasn't, and it was like I didn't even want to talk to that person because it felt like such a betrayal of our friendship for some reason.
If you think about it, that's probably the same reason you're mad at your brother. Disrespect.
I don't know what it is. Dude, if this was a therapist office, man, this would be a 16-hour session to go through the issues I had growing up with some of my family members. It was I had a good childhood, but I also had some aspects of it that were, oh god, I have to give every penny I've ever made.
Can I pose a question? I'm just curious.
Sure.
Have you guys had like fist fights? I don't think any of us has really been in a fight and we weren't like big fighters. Has that been a thing that's been around you? Like growing up, did you see fights a lot? Did you have certain friends who would just fight each other frequently? Because I've only ever seen one fist fight in person in front of me, and that was the most surrealistic shit I've ever seen in my life.
I don't want to get too in depth. You can go ahead.
No, go.
I'll tell mine last.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of just gauging, like, how does that affect you? Does that freak you out? Is it normal? Like, where does that fall? Because it seems insane to me.
I've seen things because I had drugs and alcohol in my family, and when people are not themselves, they do things that are very regrettable. So I've seen some shit throughout my life, but as far as like just two sober people fighting it out, my brother and I the one time I talked about a little bit ago, and then like my other siblings have kind of fought a bit, but they were either intoxicated or on something else when those kinds of things have happened. So I've seen that kind of thing in those instances. I had a weird one. There was one weird moment when I was in college. I can't remember if it was at Miami University or down at UC, but I was walking on a sidewalk, and I don't remember if I was looking at my phone or what I was doing, but I was just walking on a sidewalk toward class, and this guy was walking on the sidewalk toward me, so I kind of scooted over to the right to make room for him to pass me, and he just beelined at me and bumped into me, like ran into me and jammed his shoulder into my chest, elbow, or shoulder region, and I turned around and looked at him, and the dude like got up in my face like he wanted me to fight him, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then like we stared at each other for a minute, not really knowing what the hell was going to come next. I think he wanted to fight, like I think he was, I don't know what he was doing. Then he turned around and left, and I just kept going about my way. But like, that's the closest to like some weird kind of fight situation I've ever been in. Was this dude just like I moved out of the way, walking down, and this guy beelines just he rammed his shoulder right into this region of me, and then like I turned to look at him, and he's like, what? What are you gonna do about it? Kind of thing. It was like, I don't know what to do about it. What the fuck do I do in this instance?
That was really weird behavior, my guy. I'm unclear what comes next.
And in sports, I played a basketball game where this guy and I were having a very physical match the entire game. I played center, so it's like very physical down in the paint. And this dude and I were like bumping elbows, kind of like fighting for position the entire game. And something happened where this dude got pissed, and it looked like we were going to come to blows. And he goes to like what I think is to punch me, and he stops and pokes me in the eye. And I also was left completely fucking confused. Because what is the response back? If I punch him, I'm overreacting. If I poke him, I think we're flirting. So I don't know what the hell to do. So I did nothing in that instance either. But this dude I thought was going to punch me, and he stopped and just like, right in my eye, just poked me. And it was like,
that's really weird.
It's weird as
ow, but also what the fuck do I do to you in response? Because I'm pissed, but I don't know what the response is to that.
quick little pop slap or you oh, but you depends on how close you are.
So I had two
You
weird
close to
instances personally where
definitely
that
the
kind of, like,
knuckle
I saw
thing.
shit with other people, but
Purple knuckle
two
for sure.
instances in my own life where it was like, well, do I elbow you back? Do I punch you? Do I poke you? Do I ball knee you? Do I try? What do I do? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question. I don't remember what it was, but that's where we are.
That's fascinating. That reminds me of whatever. It's like some PAX party, and it was like this pizza place. Wait, I think you were there.
I was there. That was in Seattle. That was PAX West.
Yeah. And then the waiter there, like I went to get the waiter's attention because one of our friends was not having a good time and wanted to get out. And I'm like, hey, son, you got back or something?
Yes.
They're probably gonna puke, and they're like, you need to get them out of here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. And then he's like, well, what are you doing about it? Eating your pizza? And I'm like, you sell this pizza? But I was pissed at the time. Like in my head, I'm like, you gave me the pizza. Why are you mad at me? But I was just like livid in my head. So I just dropped the pizza on the floor, and that was like, all right, you're out of here. And as soon as his hand grabbed my shirt, I was ready to kill that man. Like it's a strange thing. Not quite to your level, Wade, but it was like, oh, I know exactly what's happening now. We're about to fight, and it was like all of you around, just like suddenly 6 hands on this guy. I think I've told this story before. Just like,
that was such a horrible situation all around, and I remember that dude being a total douche about it. He was just like, I need help, and he's like, yeah, what are you gonna do to help? And it's like, I don't know, God, I need help. Like, I don't know why he was confrontational. He was such a dick.
That was very, very confusing. The whole thing, because like if a third party who watched it and didn't know you, they would have been like, oh, what did that guy say? What did that half Korean looking guy say to the waiter to piss him off? But we knew what the exchange was, and it was like, what an inappropriate response from the waiter. Like, what the fuck is happening here?
My friend's sick and needs help. Yeah, well, fucking get out of my restaurant, you piece of shit. It's
yeah,
like,
well, help them then. And I'm like, I want to.
Help me.
That was so
help
weird.
you. Help
That was
them.
so weird.
Like, no, help you. Help me. Help them.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd forgotten about that entire event until you just brought it up. That whole situation was so bizarre.
watching adult men fight in any context is pretty weird to me. But if it's not like an organized fight where it's like a competition of MMA or boxing or something, it's super fucking weird. That happened one time. I was in a situation where I was hanging out with a guy that I kind of knew, and then some of like his friends that I really didn't know, and we were just like at a bar having some drinks. Everyone was not super trashed, and we headed home, and they just started throwing punches at each other, and like it was just 4 of us, right? So 2 of them are fighting, other guys there, and they're fighting in front of me, and I'm like, I feel like I should be stopping this, but I don't know these guys. Like, if I jump into this, they're just gonna... It's weird. It's fucking surreal. Any adult who feels like fighting is a natural response has either been through some serious shit or, I don't know, needs to work on themselves, because that's just wild.
I went to a bar with some friends. Well, I knew a couple of the people. Again, same situation. I knew a couple of the people, and we went to a bar, and they were like, "Oh, I've got some friends from college that are gonna come with us." Like, okay, cool, whatever. And we were hanging out, chatting, and we go back to someone's place afterward. We're all just gonna crash at their like apartment or whatever it is. And one of the guys was really drunk and really hungry when he got back, so he grabbed like a pizza box. He went and laid on the couch and started eating pizza. And he just fucking passed out on this couch, like the pizza box on his chest. And one of the other dudes that was there, I don't know what compels some guys to be like this, but he was like, huh, look at this guy passed out with a pizza box on his chest. And he walked up and just fucking drilled him in the nuts.
Oh, goodness.
Punched him in the balls.
Sure.
And the dude keels like this, pizza folds up, falls on the floor. Dude falls on the floor afterward. And the guy just laughs and like goes back to his room. And the other dude's just like writhing on the floor in pain. And that was the exchange. And it's like, some things don't connect with me. Like, there was no part of that exchange that seemed necessary, funny, good. It was all just like, I don't know either of these people. So again, what do I do? Do I help? How do I help him? He got punched in the balls. I know what that's like. There's nothing I can do.
I think you gotta go hold his nuts for him so that they don't hurt so much.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, the thoughts in your head are like, do I give him an ice pack? Do I go punch the guy who punched him? That'd be stupid. Do I sit here and stare stupidly and do nothing? Because that's what I'm doing. Guess I'm going to keep doing that one. Hey, your friends are weird. Yeah, they're just like that. All right, time to sleep. Hope I don't get punched in the nuts for sleeping here. And that was my thought process as I drifted off, was hope I don't get punched in the nuts for falling asleep.
Well, that's what you
That would
get for
suck.
falling asleep. Yeah, that's your fault.
I guess so, even though that was the pre-arrangement.
Why would you think it was okay to sleep there like that?
Ooh, the predetermined arrangement was, hey, you guys want to come crash back here afterward? Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Well, we've been pretty angry this episode. I feel like the rage has consumed us. But I feel like we've let it out.
Yeah.
I feel like we unleashed some things.
I feel like shit.
Thank you for sharing, guys, and thank you everybody out there for listening. Remember, if you've been angry, it doesn't make you a bad person. Wait, I'm back. If you've been angry, it doesn't automatically make you a bad person. Okay.
I think what you're trying to say
be
is...
a bad person. No.
Look, no, abandon that part, Mark.
Okay. Yes.
Anger is a natural emotion. Feeling anger is a natural response to different things that might happen to you and around you. It's okay to feel angry. It does not mean anything about who you are as a person or your morals. But you might be a bad person, is Mark's point.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not excluding.
You might be like just the worst.
I think if you give in to that feeling and do things you'll regret, that might make you a bad person.
That one, yeah. That stuff.
So I was almost a bad person, but thankfully I was.
I think what Mark is trying to say is that the episode is coming to a close.
Yes!
Nice.
And I'm going to pick the winner.
Great.
Super happy about that catch.
Wow, how's your desk calculator working?
What are you actually looking at? You're clearly...
Oh, hang on!
Are you...
Did I win? Man, I was calculating the points.
All right, with 13 points, Bob, you came in second place.
All right, wait a minute.
We had 16 whopping points.
16?
With all of his accessory stories, his inserts in between conversations, he didn't win a single bonus point for the titles, but he came in and he dominated this game.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the volume thing. I could have definitely talked more.
Oh, he did not only just talk more, he had more heartfelt, rage-fueled stories, and he had the advantage that every time I hear him speak, I get angry, which coincides with the theme. Congratulations, Wade!
I didn't feel good about winning, and now I somehow feel worse about winning. So thank you.
I didn't even tell the story about how rageful I was on tour. I almost killed you in your bunk, Mark. What about that? How many points is that worth?
Wait a minute.
I was just saying, don't sleep in the same house as me, and it'll be fine.
Here's the photo evidence of me with the garrote wire.
Oh, interesting.
That's pretty ragey, right?
Yeah. But anyway, Wade, would you like to give your winner speech? Well, maybe it should be loser speech first. Well, I'll loser speech second.
Yeah.
Second. Wait, go first.
What?
Wait, you're a victor.
Okay.
You're victorious.
I don't feel like a victor. This was a good topic. This was a really good topic, but it also makes you confront parts about yourself you don't necessarily like and stuff you like to try to forget about. But I guess it's good not to. You need to remember and try to be better. So, I don't know. I try to approach things in a healthier way. That moment helped me realize I needed to, which is why I've changed how I address people whenever we're not getting along. But, no, I thought it was a really good topic, and I think a lot of people could probably relate to having those kinds of feelings and interactions and whatnot. Maybe not as severe as the one I went through, but, you know, that kind of shit happens. So, if you go through it, yeah, talk to a therapist, try to redefine life, find new ways of confronting issues to maybe help contain that feeling or keep it from happening to begin with. So, thanks for hosting, and I hope you all still like me after finding out I'm a terrible person.
Well, there's some things to unpack in that last sentence. Bob, your turn for loser speech.
Oh, well, I feel like I've given a lot of these in recent memory, but I'll try and make this one unique. No, I will say, I struggle with processing emotions. My instinctive response is to try and repress them and push them down and not experience them, and that worked for quite a while, but that is not really, I'm learning, that's not really a healthy way to deal with it. And with anger in particular, experiencing anger doesn't make you a bad person. Feeling and thinking things towards other people or about other people is not something that makes you a bad person. The thing you control is what you choose to do, how you choose to act. You can think all kinds of stuff in anger and rage because that can kind of blindside you and come out of nowhere. But you control how you act, and if you can maintain control of your actions and decisions outwardly, that is what defines who you are and whether or not you're indulging those bad thoughts that you have. So that's a big thing I've learned because I am in the same boat as Wade. I have felt very negatively about myself in dealing with and learning how to deal with anger and other emotions, and it's tough, but you can figure it out. You can learn how to feel good about yourself no matter how you might feel in any given moment. So I would encourage people to talk about it with anyone who would talk to you, who will listen, therapist, whomever. I have talked to many people, and many people have helped me in different ways. So even though I'm a loser and that hurts, I don't have a second part. I'm a loser and that hurts. That's it. There's no redemption. I'm just a loser, and it
Well, I
hurts.
feel much better about winning now hearing that. Thank you.
Okay, well, that was a little depressing, but all of this has been a little.
Hey, it's a loser speech. What do you want?
Well, you said
What do you want?
you said at the beginning that you could have it with grace, but all right.
No, I said I would make it unique. I didn't say it was grace.
Right. I thought I heard grace, but I must be wrong. I'm sorry. But thank you, everybody, for listening. The morals, as we have laid out, are as thus. You might be a bad person. It was better morals.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
That's the moral of the story. You might be a bad person. Thanks for watching.
You should look into that. You should check on that. You're the only one who can know that. So figure that out.
So thank you so much all for your beautiful faces. Take care of yourselves and check out this podcast more, or we'll be mad at you. You just learned how violently angry we can be. Don't piss us off by not listening and following this podcast. That's the moral of the story.
Podcast. Good one it is. Oh, I jumped all over you. Will, cut me out. Oh, no. Mark's getting enraged.
It's more than an SUV. It's your Chevy Equinox EV, going further on full charge.
Leo's working hard, growing. Pampers is working hard, keeping him dry.
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable. This week, it's a fun ride as the boys are on form. Washroom Wade is front and center, sells half of his restroom empire. Everyman Mark counts the benefits of Tinder's new premium option to be ignored by non-matches. Amphibious Bob gives phenomenal blowing tips and huge laces. From memories of cringy past to Mitsubishis made of gum. Yes, it's time for Worth It. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome back to Distractable. My name is Markiplier and I'm going to be your host today for this wonderful journey into the minds of us three. Who is we three? Me, and these are the Bob and Wade.
I'm a the?
The, yeah.
Oh. Hi. Hello.
Hey, what? Wade, why do you look so scared?
I'm always scared. Oh, wait, you have to put on your normal human smile.
Oh. I know people listening can't see it, but you all know what Wade looks like, and imagine the face that he's pulling right now. And yeah, that's it. That's.
This reminds me of that video you posted, that had to be 2014, 2015, the Markiplier's Magic Touch. I don't know if you remember that.
God, I blocked that video out of my mind.
That's a formative memory for me, by the way.
Real? Oh, yeah, because it was your first time.
That was the first time I ever went to LA, and you picked me up from the airport, and you were like, when you walk in, can everyone inside this apartment touch your face for a couple minutes? And then that happened.
You know how I've always said I look back on all of my videos fondly? I don't look back on that one fondly at all.
You guys were all had these orgasmic faces, and then you were like, wait, we're gonna change the lighting, and you just make the worst faces you can, and we're gonna change the shooting angle. You guys are all like, oh. And then my face, with my shaved face, just
That video is and I've done a lot of cringy things. Most of it intentional. That one kind of intentional. That one might be the worst, and no one ever brings it up.
It lives rent free in my head.
Man, I'd somehow expunged it from my memory.
The next person who enters to bring that up as a point to talk about.
Yeah, I remember why, because I bought a camera that could do slow motion, and I was just like, I'm going to use it in everything because I fucking love it, just like everyone ever gets a slow motion camera, and it's just like, yeah, what can we do? I don't know, make dumb faces, and it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, and I learned from that having a beard really reduces people's ability to see your, facial maneuverability, so, the different ways I can, with my cheeks, make the wrinkles really just look awful. The beard really hides a lot of it. If you go and watch Markiplier's Magic Touch and you see, the horrible...
Why are you telling people to do this?
YouTube.com/the Markiplier's Magic Touch.
Free views, man. Alright, well, we don't need to subject the new generation to such cringe, I don't think they can handle it. We may have grown up, sweltering in the millennial cringe, but, they're seeing just the after effects of it, the echoes of it, they're living beyond that. They're creating new cringe as it goes on.
Our 1,000 cringe stare. This is what's left.
Man, you gotta coin that. You gotta put that on a shirt. That's a great phrase. Yeah, that is a good description. Anyway, today's episode is going to be about the fun stuff that you want to talk about and all the other things that you... Whatever, shut up. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Us shut up, or... Yeah.
No, them. The
Oh, okay. Good. Doing pretty good. The magic box is gone. I don't know if that's in the most recent episode, but remember I had a box next to me that was moving? I killed it. I burned it. In ritual sacrifice, it's gone.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't happen to... Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
What? The joke I was going to make wouldn't make sense yet, because the reference I don't think would be out.
What? Are you predicting the future? What?
Yes. Wade's actually a multi-dimensional being, and he just let it slip.
Okay, good. Well, now that everyone is thoroughly confused, Bob, how's your life going?
He's the one that answered, man, damn.
That's right.
I got a book. Tell us fucking more, I guess, man. Whatever. I got more stuff to talk about, okay? I was at Costco.
Yeah, wait, shut up. I want to hear this.
And I was like, man, I'm really out of ideas for podcast stuff. So I got this book called History's Worst Decisions and Inventions. And this is going to be the basis of some kind of episode. Also,
What?
it cost me $18, so you know
I
it's
just
a good
carried an
one.
empty
I
goddamn
mean, it
cooler
looks thick
like
and
a
it looks like it
dumbass
has some interesting
and
subjects.
big.
Good.
It's got a lot of pictures.
Oh, that
Wow,
just pissed me
look
off
at
a little
that. I
bit.
can't see it.
Good neither. It's Nikola Tesla doing electricity things. See?
I love when he played
I
Palpatine.
can't believe they didn't let you do that. I felt
Will,
stupid
when
as
you
hell.
edit this, make that full screen, but blur it out just how we were seeing it, like really pixelated and low res, so even the watchers get frustrated. Just like, because if the listeners can't see properly and are like, just they're showing things that I can't see, then the viewers must be equally frustrated. We want to make the viewing experience as bad as possible.
Make it so blurry the listeners see it better.
It's actually worse than listening to watch the video. That's what we want.
I don't want that. Actually, I want to point that out that I actually very much care, which is the perfect segue into my subject for today.
I'm great, man. Thanks a fucking again for asking. Go on. Great segue. Please, go for it. Let this be here. Bob, do you have more to add?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I was out in the car the other day.
Great.
Oh, you weren't being serious. I see.
Well, I was. Well, in the car, in the park, I don't care which. Just say your word.
I installed a camera in the car, so now we could see James in his little car seat while we're driving.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, the topic? Should we start the episode?
You know what? I don't want to give away any more ammo to think that I'm against him. It literally just happens this way. I don't know why. I legitimately thought he brought up that first one, and then I legitimately forgot that he didn't give his say. So wait, I'm gonna here. Now's your chance. I want to hear.
He's not gonna participate. He's gonna be salty about it.
I'm so serious, Wade. It was all not intentional. I want to know how your day was. He's glaring at me. He's squinting at me, but it's just like, I really, truly did not mean for this intro to go this way or every other intro that I've ever hosted that has somehow ignored you. It's not a bit. It just happens.
It's just a coincidence that it always happens the same way.
Well, like Bob with the coin flip, remember? Remember, Wade? Remember?
You lost the coin flip of life.
I lost the coin flip of friendship. Bob lost the actual coin flip.
Oh.
But things are actually pretty good. We got rid of our old house, so I'm no longer a man with 10 toilets. I'm only a man with 5.
Yeah, 5 toilets?
Dude, I feel like every house we've ever looked at in Cincinnati, for some reason, it's like 1 bedroom, 5 toilets.
You know what? I say that, but we do have 4 toilets in my house. I forgot we.
I mean, for Cincinnati, man, I don't know if it's because we have chili or what it is, but they're like, you need toilets. You need so many toilets.
You gotta have the capacity to dump out on every floor of your house, at least one location. Okay.
You gotta have a master bathroom. If you have a 2-story house and a basement, which I feel like a basement's pretty standard here, but you have a basement toilet, a main floor toilet, a master toilet, and then like 1 upstairs guest toilet. You have to have at least 4 toilets. Otherwise, it's not really a house. It's a weird warehouse. You've been set up. You're on like Ashton Kutcher's Punk'd. Was he the one who hosted Punk'd?
I think so, actually.
So if you don't have 4 toilets or more in Cincinnati, you're on an episode of Punk'd. I've lived here all my life. It's been a 20-year build-up. He's coming. Ashton is coming.
All right. So that's doing well for you?
Well, having 5 less toilets is great, yeah.
That's the takeaway from...
Wait my whole life to see a total eclipse.
Now streaming on Hallmark Plus.
Nice. Oh,
That's
do you
too
mind if I
damn
take it?
bad.
That's the takeaway from... All right.
Thank you for the time.
Wait, no. Can I don't
Oh,
get into the
God.
details of the transaction because I don't want to dox you or anyone. But how is the disclosures on your old house in regards to all the water damage stuff?
Oh, I was very transparent.
Did you write like a 5-page paper of like, and then this toilet leaked, and it came through this ceiling, and there's pictures in the appendix?
For every issue we had, we spent so much money trying to fix everything correctly, and we redid so many like pipes that like on the form I was like, look, somewhere along the ownership lines there were a lot of like do-it-yourselfers that really sucked, and we spent 5 years redoing their doing, and this happened, and this happened, but we did everything we can to fix it right, and we did this, we did that, we replaced this. Like, I was very upfront because honestly, I am proud of the work we had done in that house, because we thought it would be our forever home, so we were fixing it up to like be done correctly for that. So I fully disclosed even things I probably didn't have to disclose. I was like, this happened, we fixed it, you're welcome, buy my house.
You should burn the Drowned Man saga onto DVD and just like like stick that in their mailbox at some point.
I should go burn the house down.
No. Burn a DVD of the Drowned Man saga. Just anonymously stick it in their mailbox.
No, what you do is you get like a time biodegradable bag. You fill it with water and put the disc inside it and tie that in the wall so that eventually in 9 months it'll start to leak and then the wall will get a water stand that they'll chip away and peel away in a frantic like and then they'll rip it open and there'll be like a DVD in a stopping bag and they'll be like, what? No. And they'll put it in and they'll see how haunted their house really is.
I'll put the wig for like pretending to be JP, and there's just like a wig of hair, like a sopping wet wig in a DVD. Maybe a pair of gloves just to really sell it.
All right. Anyway, so Wade having 10 toilets and now 5 plus, I guess, the money from the house being sold, which is good.
We still had a mortgage, and apparently when you sell the house, the realtors take out of what you get, not what the buyers pay. So there was some...
Yeah, that's how it works.
But anyway, go on.
Puts him in the 1%. How dare you scum?
Wait, losing 5 toilets put me up 1%?
No, yeah. And getting the money from the sale, yeah. This son of a bitch doesn't speak for the people. Doesn't speak for the everyman.
Thanks for the time. I appreciate you letting me talk. Go on. Go back to being a dick to me.
I am going to bring something that is probably relevant to you, Wade, to your attention. Definitely relevant to you.
I left my monocle upstairs. I couldn't go get it. Go on. Fucking pleb.
Tinder is launching a new... I'm married! What the hell? It is relevant to you, 1%. People wondering why I was wearing the headband. It's because literally every time I breathe in, my hair goes in my mouth. They're launching a new $500 per month option for elite users like yourself.
Oh my god, my mistresses are gonna love this. Hang on.
I know. Anyway, I just thought this was hilarious that it was even possible that this could go over.
You pay $500 a month to just have access to Tinder, but only see other rich people?
No. That would be more logical.
Susie 2, and Susie 3 are gonna love... I only date Susie, so don't get confused.
So there might be that feature, but the main feature that draw my attention to this is that if you pay this money, you'll be able to send messages to people you haven't matched with.
Neat. I'm seeing that. You can just get direct access to whoever's DMs you want without any consent or invitation or anything.
Yep.
Neat.
If you pay your way to success, you, too, can be a creep showing up in people's inboxes uninvited.
You also get a badge. You can also set it so you only see other people who have the expensive subscription. And also, your profile has an unblurred photo that gets prioritized in whatever the likes you grid is for 1 week.
This is even better than whenever you go to Shadysville, Ohio, and you pay the locksmith $500 a month to get those skeleton keys. So you can let yourself in anyone's house you want.
What era are you from again? We've kind of touched on this before, where you may be much older than you think you are.
What do you mean?
This eldritch time-traveling god that you are.
Dude, the witch trials were like last week. I'm not that old. They just happened.
Anyway, this kind of brought up me to think about this concept of being tone deaf, right? And this is a company that like has a subscription that completely destroys their entire business model, right? Because it's just going to make people leave because they're like, why the fuck are people able to message me?
Unless they're like, you can afford $500 a month to talk to me when I don't want to talk to you? You must be rich. I love you all of a sudden. Isn't it obvious?
Yep, that's the one.
That's like seeing an uncensored $1 million check in your DMs. It's like, it's so big, you know?
That's definitely what's going to happen. No, Wade's right. Don't question it.
It's just like, man, the visual journey you take my imagination on is just so profound, and I love it. And I love that about you, Wade. 5 points.
Thank you. Sorry, I kind of zoned out. I was picturing how big that check would be.
Same size as any other check, I think.
No, it's one of those big novelty ones, but it's.
I'm sorry. Do rich people get extra large checks just so that when they write checks, it's more impressive?
They never know when they open a package if it's like the original Mona Lisa or just their checks arriving for the month.
1% of 1%er has an electrician at the door, and he's like, "Yeah, it'll be $178. That's for the service today," and they're like, "I'll just round it up to 180."
$178. Let me just buy your business. You should be charging more than that.
Let me see if I have any hundreds rolling around the floor of my Mercedes Benz.
Do you take millions of dollars? I can't go lower than that.
I can't be bothered with change. Just take 10 million.
I can't believe they don't have coins for 100 yet.
Sir, $1 million bills don't exist. Not for the poor people, they don't. Now break this.
I just love the idea of a guy just decides that's his scam, and he gets $1 million bills, and everyone is like, that doesn't exist. He's like, you wouldn't know about this, but when you reach a certain threshold of income, you do get access to $1 million bills. I'm really not supposed to give this to someone like you. But it's all I've got. Can you give me change?
What if it's the same size bill, but it's just longer and incorporate the zeros?
No, it's like a spreadsheet. Instead of doing like a one line, they did wrap text, so it's just like 100000000.
Just think of it. They unroll it and just scroll to hand them their bill.
It's real. Mark, this is a weird topic.
Oh, no. So I'm circling back around to it. So, right. Like, that is an exorbitant, stupid expenditure that people with way too much money have. And I recently came to the realization that I am looked down upon by certain characters on the subreddit for oftentimes bringing up, let's say, pieces of technology that are somewhat expensive sometimes.
Sometimes insanely expensive.
It can seem superfluous, right? And I recently, I want to just like say to the subreddit, you're welcome. I recently brought to the fold the funniest episode we've ever had, Beating Bob's Fridge, illegal advice, and I just like, you're welcome everybody. I'm so glad I could bring you so many laughs in that episode. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it so much. As the host of that episode, I take full credit and responsibility for all enjoyment of that episode, and I think that now, it's really turning for me on the subreddit. I'm now the hero of the subreddit and the audience in general.
Way too quick for the hero arc, Mark. Sorry, you're not there yet.
No, this is Markiplier's hero arc. I had my villain arc, and I think that was really undeserved. But now it's my hero arc, so I wanna become a human. I wanna show my humanity.
I am so glad to hear that, because during your villain arc, whenever we hosted Bob, Wade, and Friend, there was a point where like the true statement was you had to give us like a percentage of your YouTube earnings, and villain Mark would have never done that, but hero Mark definitely will. So Bob and I are super glad to hear that you're on your hero arc now. We look forward.
Absolutely, and I'm true to my word. All the revenue from Markiplier 2 is coming your way, baby. Markiplier 2.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm a man of my word, and given that was like such a hilarious episode, I'm so glad I could provide the laughs. I want to make an episode that everyone can relate to. I want to know, what is the thing that you would spend a lot of money on? And I know this is kind of like crazy, but I wanted to talk about it because there was a conversation I was having with Phil, the DP for, you guys know Phil, he did the DP on Space and Heist, and he was talking about the lenses that we used on the movie that we were talking about. And I knew they were good lenses. I didn't know what they were when he got them. It was just like him and Matt. Matt had someone that had this set, and there was like these really great lenses. There's only 6 sets of this in the world. We should use this for the movie. And I'm like, sure. It was expensive to rent, but it was like, if it's what you say is good, you're the cinematographer. I know that you know a lot more about visual stuff than I do. I didn't know how good these lenses were until like last week. He came over to my house. He was helping me like look through the movie and like reviewing some stuff. But he was talking about this and what the lenses are. This is not going to mean anything, but this was so fascinating because I think the topics that we've talked about before and the things that I talk about and I'm really excited about, that a lot of people can't relate to and they only see the price tag. But I want to talk about something that has a high price tag, but it has a rich history behind it. And there's a reason that it's expensive, and there's a reason that you would pay a premium for it because of the quality and the artistic value that it has.
lenses, or at least the personal value of some things. It doesn't have to be an artistic. But what these are, they're called Minolta Rocore cinema lenses, and that doesn't exist. Minolta, the company of lens manufacturer in Japan in the 1960s and 70s, made lenses called Rocore lenses, which was named after Mount Roko in Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think my parents have an old film camera that was a Minolta that had Rocore branding on it, but that was like just like a normal like film camera.
If they have leftover lenses, those are incredibly valuable.
Even if it's just like a junk kit lens that came with the whatever kit.
Maybe. Like, it's hard to say. There's resources to look it up. But the reason these are very special lenses is because, like I said, Minolta Rocore cinema lenses didn't exist a few years ago. You have to take their lenses, get something that has survived all this time, that hasn't like had any scratches, dust gotten in it, like exposure to too much light, fungus growing inside of it, no dirt like got inside of it, pristine glass, which after all this time, because of the coatings that were on the lenses themselves, they've aged in a very specific way that has created this warm tone to the image. When light goes in there, it gets an amber like little tint to it. It creates a softness and like a special quality of the image that is so intangible. Like if you just saw a movie and you're like, that looked good because it was large format camera, whatever, it looked good. But if you saw something that was with a pristine, beautiful lens that gave richness to the image, you would be like, that was actually different if you did an A-B comparison. It might be hard to discern, but there is like a discernible quality comparative to this lens. Now, what he was saying to me is he was talking about the process, because the lenses themselves you can get and buy, they're like maybe $500 a lens, but then to rehouse them in a cinema housing takes thousands of dollars and like a year of effort just to transfer it over from its old casing into a new casing, get them all lined up, get them all calibrated, get them all... Good Lord. They have to reinvent the entire lens while still maintaining the aesthetic and the performance of the original lens. It's a very difficult process. I don't even know the half of it.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to pay someone to lay on the camera and hold the lens in place for you while you film? You're saying it gives a warmth to the image, and I'm pretty sure there's like a TikTok filter that does that.
Right, yeah, there is definitely just a TikTok filter.
But can't you just do that with like AI or something now?
Maybe someday soon, actually, but honestly, it is crazy, the difference of these lenses. And now, okay, so let me give you numbers. I bought a lens kit recently that I love very much, and it has 8 lenses in it, and it was $14,000. Ouch. For the entire set. And these are cinema lenses, they're high quality, and you can film any movie you want on them, and that'd be great. I bought this because I invested in it, and I was like, I'm going to use this for like almost all my projects from here on till forever. This lens set, I think if you bought it, would cost about $120,000.
So why don't you own that one? Are you 4 or something?
Well, the thing is, Phil told me about it. Phil told me, like, because he was doing this thing where, like, man, if only someone just bought this set and then we could use it on any project ever. Man, someone just put the money in to own this so we wouldn't have to wait and see if it's available for rent. He was really giving me the side-eye hard on that. I'm like, dude, I don't know who you think.
I need to learn to like become a glass blower so I can make $120,000 selling lenses. Yeah, that's how they do it. You run over to the furnace and you heat it up, and then you run over to the rack and you're all Minolta. You actually have to scream Minolta through the pipe. Every breath you're all Minolta. That's what gives it the ripple that gives it the warmth.
Guaranteed $100,000 just for doing that.
Yeah, if you could breathe Minolta lenses into existence, you would be worth any amount of money. But as it goes,
That's a 21. All right. That's a 50.
I'll bet people who play harmonica could make some hella lenses.
Oh my god.
What does harmonica have to do with it? Just the way you can like control your like amount of breath and stuff, your airflow.
Look, I don't know enough about harmonica, so I'm gonna assume he knows just about as much about harmonica as he does glass blowing lenses.
Enough. Apparently more than you know about glass blowing lenses. He knows enough, Mark.
You're right. I apologize.
I just imagine your guys'
group like get together to solve this was like, what can we watch from like
Good night.
1970s, 80s? Oh, look at these porn, man! Look at the high quality lenses. You can look at the warmth. Because everything that was sold in the 70s, I think, was a porn, right?
So these are I should have mentioned these are photography lenses.
Oh, you can take photos of porn.
They didn't have, just handheld video cameras back then.
What? No. Of course they did.
I mean, you can still, like, now the video cameras are, anyway, that's not the point, Wade. God. So what I wanted to talk about is because when Phil told me about that price, even once he started to explain why these lenses were special, what the history was, what the efforts it took to even get that lens there to that moment on set that we could have it, and the quality with which it put out, I was just like, oh, I see. I see why there's value here, even though it's an exorbitant price, an ungodly price for $120,000 for a 10 or 11 lens set. That's like $10,000 a lens, and that's not even the cheapest lens. There are lenses out there that a whole set would be $400,000.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, this is reminding me when we did our tour, our live show tour. Well, one of the stops we had a film in the Vegas show. We had a film professionally. And I remember the crew that showed up had all this crazy stuff, all this gear. They set this whole thing up. And I remember there was just this huge lens sitting on a table. And I don't remember if it was you or Ethan. I think it was Ethan, maybe. We were sitting there, and we were just looking at it like, wow, that's cool. I wonder. And Ethan, like, asked the guy. And it was a $60,000 lens. And it was enormous and had all kinds of twisty bits, and I don't know what all it did, but it was like, the fanciest whatever lens. I'm sure you could buy a whole set of those if you really wanted to, but goddamn, $60,000 for one lens that probably does not have that wide of a range of focal distance if it's not fixed anywhere, or if it's not a prime lens to begin with. Like, I don't know.
That's so expensive that Elon Musk can only afford like 700 of those a day with his daily salary.
Yeah.
Almost thought I had another one. So shit, I don't care. I'll take away some buckets. Find your own seats.
Salary.
Yeah.
So this episode's kind of about like, instead of focusing on what wealthy people can buy, it's about what poor people dream about buying.
It's about what poor people will never get to own in their entire lives.
I never know when you're joking or just being dumb. I can't discern, so I always assume that you're being
talent, and I abuse it.
Anyway, no, what I'm saying is, what I want to know is things that
Did you
you
just fill up my
guys have
campfires?
a deep appreciation for, that you think would be worth the price. That if someone saved up for like years to be able to buy something that's not a house, maybe a car, I guess, but like I want to know like these niche things, these small things, where if someone at a casual glance saw these lenses and were just like, oh, it's the size of a briefcase, the whole lens set, how could it be worth that much? And then you hear the history of it, and then you hear the journey it's taken, and then you hear the craft that's gone into it, and then you hear the human hours that have been put into this thing, and you're like, wow, this is really might actually be worth the price. It's like you do need to learn the whole story behind it. And even someone else might be like, I don't have a use for lenses, but at least I can appreciate the art that goes into it. And I think me talking about a hard drive no one can appreciate the art that goes into a hard drive. There's not really art there. It's pure function. I would only buy that for business. This is kind of like, and of course, like movie making can be a business, but it's an art form.
Yeah, well, you don't spend that much money on those lenses because you can't achieve your business goals without them. It's an artistic choice where it's like, I knew this was. I picked up on this when you started going on about the lenses. This whole time, I've been trying to think if there's a thing that like is like that for me. It's tough. I don't know if Wade, you have anything that came directly to your head. I think I don't value stuff that highly, and certainly not to say that I don't have expensive stuff, but that's really honestly more just like, I don't know, greed is not the right word, but like I covet things, right? I've grown up and I always wanted to have like a MacBook Pro, but it was always so expensive. I own one now because it's a business expense, and like we're doing well enough where I was like, I'm just gonna splurge and get it. I think the only kind of thing where I would spend an inordinate amount of money, like a completely undeserved, unreasonable amount of money, would be if there was a car or something or a boat There was a thing that, like, my grandfather had owned and worked on. And, like, part of him was in that. And there isn't. I wish that there was, but I don't know of a thing. You know, it's really stupid. It was an awful little car, but I learned how to drive manual transmission in my grandfather's Geo Tracker. Just a little 2-seater SUV. It's like and then his was a particularly beat up example because they used to like tow it behind the motorhome when they would go traveling. So it was like a crap car. It didn't run right. It would stall all the time. If I could find that car, I would probably pay an embarrassing amount of money. It's not worth very. It's probably worth like $1,000 now. But I would pay way more than is even remotely reasonable to get that, just because I know it was his. But there's nothing like that exists. But theoretically, like, I would totally go for that. I also know my dad, when he was young, he had a Volkswagen Beetle. It's the car that he drove when he met my mom, and he drove back and forth to visit her from college and stuff. I could find his Beetle, which when he owned it in like the 70s, already the floorboards were rusted out and it was an absolute piece of shit. If I could find that, I would pay, some unbelievable amount of money for a rusted out piece of crap. Nothing. Just to buy it and try and like restore it, just to hold on to that. But I don't think anything like that actually exists for me outside of completely theoretical things. And I'm just struggling. I don't know.
No, that's totally fun because that's also like part of it. Like it's either collectibles. It doesn't have to be like an artistic creation. It could be like you have a very niche hobby. You have a very niche thing. I would love for people in the suburbs to talk about like the unique like art supply or the paint that is just, like it's made out of like seashells, but only from oysters at this certain depth on this Atlantic shelf or something like this. Or it's like I love hearing about such niche things, but it could be like sentimental things. Like the car thing reminds me of my stepdad had a car that he always said he was going to like fix up, restore. Yeah, and then he had his accident when I was like 13. And so he never got the chance, and it just rusted, and it sat in the driveway, and eventually, like, it had, like, we were just donated to whatever the charity that takes cars. Now that I, like, actually have money, I kind of thought about that because my stepdad finally passed away about a year ago, and it was one of those things where I realized that I had a thought. I was like, oh, that car would never be fixed up. I would pay, and I know it's like it was crushed into like a cube, and it's like super recycled. There's no way it'd ever be that.
It's in someone's iPhone right now.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere. But you just made me realize, like, man, if I found that, if I was driving down the street and I saw it on the road and it was just like it had an exorbitant price, but I knew it was that car, I would buy it like right then and there, like, and then I would fix it up, just kind of like in honor of like his dream that never was fulfilled, and that would be worth it to me, like in a heartbeat. And I know that can't happen because it's a cube somewhere or a phone, but it's like, yeah, that just made me think of that. Like, yeah, I would pay for that.
Similar vein, my grandparents had a pontoon. Surprise, surprise, we'd like both. But it's actually still in the family. Like, my aunt has it right now, so I don't have to, like, worry about it because we still have that pontoon. And it's in rough shape. Probably needs a new motor. Needs to have, like, all of the wood boards replaced, carpet like, it needs a lot of work. I wouldn't want it to be sold. I would want to fix it because it's, like, all my memories growing up, like, a lot of my, like, best memories growing up are on that boat. Random, I don't want to collect these, but I would love to go to a place and see it. But, like, when I was younger, I used to have a fascination with pocket watches and, like, clocks and stuff. Not owning them myself, but going and seeing, like, just an evolution of clocks and watches and, like, being able to, like, see the innards and how they all function from, like, whenever they were first invented to, like, modern day. Just seeing that, I think that would be fascinating. I don't know why, but I would just love to see that. Personal collections, the only things I still own from when I was, like, younger and collected things, I have some Star Wars toys that were like my brothers or whatever from like the 1970s, 80s, like some of the original Star Wars toys. And I think having like a full collection of that would be really neat. I personally collected Pokemon cards when I was younger, and I see people now, there's like 500 Pokemon decks that have come out. Some of the like original deck first editions, some of those Charizards go for like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's nuts. I don't know if I would want to pay that much for a piece of cardboard, but it'd be cool to have like first editions of all the ones that used to exist. And oddly enough, Beanie Babies were a huge part of my childhood. And I still have I can show you all right now. I could go grab a tub. I have two of those like whatever size container tubs
of Beanie Babies, and they've all got tag protectors on their tags.
Oh,
And on
Lord.
top of that, they're in sealed Ziploc bags to protect them. So they've got like 2 layers of protection.
Starting March 5th, Spring Splash Fest takes over Great Wolf Lodge. Book your getaway today.
Layers of protection. But I've got like the Princess Diana bears, so many bears. Everyone's bears. They're gonna be so valuable. You need to collect the bears. The bears. I was like
If you're
10 years
paying
old collecting
for it.
Beanie Babies, and I played with them for a little while. Like some of my tags got ruined because they were toys. And then at one point, my brain swapped. I was like, these are collector's items. And I had my grandparents buy me like a book that showed me guesstimate valuations of what Beanie Babies were worth and which ones were the rare valuable ones and this and that. I think I still have that book in the tub too. But there were some Beanie Babies that were just like, I need to get that one. I don't have that one. How do I get Peanut the royal blue elephant versus Peanut just the blue elephant? How do I get the derby horse with the velvet tail instead of the yarn tail? That was worth like $10,000. Why don't I have that one? That would be a weird one to kind of want to complete, but I remember like childhood me was obsessed. Like every time I went to a store that had Beanie Babies and the thing, it was like, does this have one of the rare, only printed 1 in a billion ones in there? No, why not? Why isn't that in a random tub?
I have no idea, man, but I think there are still Beanie Babies over at my family's house. But that, okay, if you can't think of something that you would buy, unless you don't want to say it, what is the most expensive thing you have bought just for fun? Like I'm not talking a business expense. I'm not talking like a functional thing like a house. I'm talking like
car.
Not a functional thing, not a car.
It's not functional. I did not buy it because it's functional.
Oh, okay, all right.
I bought this car a year and a half ago when I knew that we were already we had already decided we were going to try to have a baby and have a family. It has 4 doors, but it's a compact sports car with hard suspension. It's not a practical car. I was considering getting a 2-seater, but I was like, no, if we're going to have a kid, I have to at least be able to have 3 humans in a car together. But it's not practical. This is the car I grew up coveting, and I bought it because I wanted it, even though I should have probably gotten a family car that would be way more convenient to use and comfortable to drive. But if you want to disqualify a car, that's fine. I can think of other stuff.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I totally get that. But I feel like what I'm looking for is that thing that has almost no function. I guess not, because of lenses. I'm just trying to like help you guys.
Again, mine is pseudo-functional, but it was more so like I wanted it, and then I found an excuse to use it so I could get it. I do like a D&D campaigns or tabletop campaigns over Lost Initiative. Shout out. Twitch.tv/Lost Initiative. Every Wednesday. And we did a Star Wars game a little while back that took place during the Old Republic. And I was a huge fan of like Coder 2 and Revan. I had like a Revan obsession. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Revan, but it was a big Coder 1, Coder 2 thing. You can look up Revan, see like the iconic mask.
Oh, Knights, KOTOR, it didn't ring a bell for me, but yeah, I get you.
When we were doing this campaign, I played a character who had like an obsession with Revan. Like he was part of a Sith cult, and their cult like worshipped Revan and whatever. And I was like, what if this cult wore like Revan replica armor and stuff? So that way I can go to like Etsy and buy a really expensive Revan cosplay to wear on the stream, so I can own a really cool Revan cosplay. And one of the things I want to spend, I don't know how much these cost, but I would love to get like a case, like a plastic or glass case with like a mannequin inside, and put like this Revan cosplay on, just display it somewhere. Because right now I just have a box with like this full Revan cosplay that I spent like $1,200 on this Revan cosplay. Like it was an expensive cosplay.
Damn.
But I wanted it so badly, and because I just love the Old Republic and Revan stuff so much.
So you have it? You have it?
I do. Yeah.
Still in your house?
Yeah.
You've never worn it?
No, I have. I wore it on the campaign. I wore it like during the campaign. I don't just wear it around for fun. You should wear it to cons, man. So the mask, the way it's designed is like Revan has this one little line, and that's what you see through. So you see, and it's like this one line, and it's so hot because all the air comes up and like into your head. So when you're breathing, it's just like you feel the hot air splash against your face, and you're trying to see, and it's this one little line of like stuff. And there's like a spray you can use that apparently helps stop it from fogging, but it doesn't really work that well. So you have this one little line of visuals you can see. You breathe, and it's like, fuck, where is the world? I can't see anything.
And that was all the training you got for WUGs. You were able to actually function in there.
It's very similar, actually, very similar. Though I think
Crazy.
WUG was even tougher because it was 2 masks.
You know, pay that
Mask,
much
one with
money to
smaller
not be
holes
able
in
to
that eye
use
slit, and the other one just big, giant sunglass that fogged up with every breath.
Yeah.
Couldn't have made it worse for you.
Yeah, but I had some practice for WUG with the Revan Conqueror. I don't know. I also got, showed you guys the N7 Mass Effect rifle. I've actually got, like, a full N7 armor cosplay too, with, like, the helmet and everything. I think have I showed you guys the helmet?
No, yeah, maybe. So you do have this. This is exactly what I was talking about. Arts and craftsmanship and like a purchase that most people would find like nothing. But I could totally see like there's a lot of craft that goes into it, and it's like a one-time use kind of thing. That's cool.
I've got like a full armor set.
I didn't know you had a full armor set. Wow.
And I don't have batteries in it, but like it lights up as like blue lighting or whatever too. Like it does in the. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's really cool.
I feel like I'm misunderstanding your thing, Mark, because I thought of something else, but it's not. I feel like it's still wrong, but I want to talk about.
No, there's no wrong. I'm trying to just like open it broader so that like there can be more categories here. Because if you don't have one, then it's like we got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, well, so this is a category of things that I have had, and it's something that when I was a kid, I was kind of confused why my parents spent a lot of money on vacation.
Can you add me please to over 551?
Both my parents grew up in blue-collar families. Like I think they were both the first person in their family to go to college. So like their parents were like more blue-collar jobs, and like my dad's dad worked like
sure,
if
you send
the electric power plant.
If you send me,
I think that's the main thing he did. Where he just like was he fixed things with his hands. And
most times when people send me friend requests, I accept it. So
like I don't say cheap, but
this is me.
Because like they did well. My mom had a good career. She was incredibly successful, and like they did well, but they were still just like always frugal. We always bought everything secondhand, like new sports equipment or whatever. We always would go to like Play It Again Sports and get secondhand stuff. Because why do you need to get a kid new stuff they're going to use for maybe a couple of years at tops, whatever? But they would spend a ton of money on vacations. And when I was a kid, I never really thought about it, but I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I guess they just like vacations. Now that I'm like more my own person and I look back on that, those trips, those times with people where you're like, because it was like we went on trips where it was me and my parents and my dad's parents, or me and my parents and my grandmother on my mom's side. We have several trips. Those are like some of my most formative, most cherished memories. And we've done that more recently. Mandy and I, in like 2018, instead of getting people Christmas presents, we like booked a trip to Orlando and we went to Universal with like Mandy's family, like part of Mandy's family. And I would pay almost any amount of money to keep those memories. Like if I had to go back and do it again, I get why my parents would shell out for such a like, and it wasn't like an extravagant vacation or something. It's not like we stayed in villas or something, but it was expensive because you take the whole family with you. And like, that's all I want to do now. I don't really have things that I want to buy that like I would spend any amount of money for in terms of like collections or like Wade's cool armor stuff, but trips. I would spend every dollar I had to have another fantastic trip where my family gets to get together and we're go somewhere, and it becomes one of those like cornerstone memories where for the rest of my life I will remember the trip we took with my maternal grandmother. We went on a Caribbean cruise and we went and saw a cameo factory, and like when I was there I was relatively young, I was in like high school, I was kind of, for some of it I was kind of like boring. It was boring. But I look back and like that is one of my best memories because we were together as family and we were removed from like the everyday life, the grind of working. All we did was spend time together for like 5 straight days. And all we did was like talk and do things and be with each other in a way that you don't really do when you're like on a normal day to day. Even when you visit grandparents, you just like go for the holidays. It's busy. Everyone's cooking food, you're doing stuff, like it was just such a unique way to like get to know my family and have memories with family members who have since passed. And it's like, I would pay any amount almost, probably any amount of money that I had to keep those memories and to make more. I want to book more trips. I want James to have those kind of trips it's for like his memories so that he gets to know his grandparents and stuff. Like, that's not what you were describing, but if I think about like the vibe of what you're getting at, those are the things for me where it's like the time with people that's so hard to get and that's so precious. That's what I would spend every dollar in my bank account to keep and to make more of.
Yeah, I actually am gonna just to preface the subject. I'm gonna recontextualize it to what is worth the money. I think that is the distillation of what I'm trying to get at. Is I want to know whatever, anything you've bought it, you've never bought it, you don't want to buy it, but you think it. What's worth the money? Because those memories, yeah, absolutely, they're worth the money. They're absolutely worth it. You would pay any price for it because it just holds a value beyond the dollar that it costs. I would like to know just like, what is in your mind worth the money? Like it doesn't have to be anything. Like, and it could be anything at this point. Just so long as you fully believe and can explain this is worth the money and this is why.
To bounce off Bob's point, I mean, what he said, those trips, memories like that. Like, I'm trying to get something like that organized too with my family, just because it's like I've not actually had a vacation with my mom since I was like either single digits or a teenager probably. So like having a trip or two with her to have in the memory banks, that's like more than 2 decades ago. But oddly enough, this isn't to like cheat for points or to suck up. Every project that we've done and like you've invited us to be a part of, I've tried to get like posters and memorabilia and shirts and stuff for. Because it's just like meant so much to me that you've invited us to be a part of it. It's something like we would just never have gotten to do. So like I have like a stack of posters. I just paid like $1,200 to have framed. Heist, In Space, so on and so forth. I still have like some of the shirts. Like we did a charity stream back in like 2012, 2013. You put our faces, like we each had a shirt. We had like a quote underneath of it, and it's like me with my hair clean shaven, like thumbs up, and so on and so forth. I would love to get you guys each to sign one of those and get those framed. But just like the cool stuff we've gotten to do over the years, I have a terrible memory, and I sincerely, like, honestly worry about like how bad it is sometimes. Where it's like as I get older, I'm gonna forget some of the cool shit we've gotten to do. So having things like the posters behind me, or having like my big dumb one character and our characters and stuff all on here, and the other poster. I've got the other ones too. This is the one I have right next to me. Having this stuff like framed and like around to remind me of like we've done some pretty fucking cool stuff over the years. And obviously, like, you know, Bob and I probably wouldn't have gotten to do any of it without you inviting us to be a part of it. So thank you. But that's something that means a lot to me. And I would never want to give it, like, even if this stuff, like, if someone tells me like, oh my God, those 3 shirts, you guys and those shirts, those are so rare because only like 1,000 of them were sold. I will give you $1 million if you will give me all 3 of those shirts. I probably wouldn't take it because like the memory is more important to me than that money. I've found like in the highs and lows of financial success, because we've had horrible years like 2019, we've had great years like the past couple. Like honestly, with the people I have in my life and with my hobbies, having my phone, a TV, and a computer is honestly really all I need to be happy. Like I don't need to have a ton of stuff. So like $1 million really wouldn't. Whatever, money'd be great. Living like being able to retire would be great. But like I would rather have those memories. So having like those shirts and stuff, seeing the things we've done, like I don't know, getting to walk around and see a history of like, dude, I can't believe 2012 we did that charity stream. I can't believe whatever year Heist was, 2017 or whatever. Those memories mean a lot to me. Just because it's like easy to kind of overlook sometimes some of the things we've gotten to do that like childhood me would have never even dreamed of. Like my biggest dreams and aspirations growing up of being like a successful lawyer or judge pale in comparison to the stuff we've gotten to do over the last 10 years. It really does.
That's very nice, and for completely un-kiss-ass related reasons, I'm going to give you 5 points.
Weird how that worked out. Can you sign those points so I can frame them?
But it was Bob who brought up that, so Bob actually wins the round of memories. I'm going to give him 10 points because he brought it up at first and he won. I'm giving you 5 because it was very heartfelt and meaningful.
He brought up what?
He brought up memories, yeah. You were bouncing off of his idea. That was actually his idea, so...
Oh, fuck you. I brought up Beanie Babies. Those are memories.
Beanie Man.
Everything I talked about, I remember. I brought up memories.
All right.
That's kind of satisfying. But, think you can get back some more videos?
On Hallmark, there's always a plus.
Everything I talked about, I remember. I brought up memories.
All right.
Was there at Walmart and stuff like that?
Well, but this is all well and good, and the lovely memories that we shared.
Mark, I thought of a materialistic thing.
That's what I want. I don't want shitty memories. I mean good memories, Wade. I paid for those posters, man. You overcharged. I do not.
What are your profit margins on these things?
You said you paid $1,200. That's how much the poster cost. You just framed it. That cost money.
But Teresia's